The Supernatural Dogshit podcast is controversial and confrontational and may cause offense to some. Listener discretion is advised.
Good evening, one. Good evening, all. Why have we no sound? Why have we no sound? I can't hear a goddamn thing. Something's going on.
You perfectly. You know something wrong with your headphones, man.
Oh, it must be my headphones. I can't hear a goddamn thing.
Take them off, so.
Yeah, just bear with us. 2 seconds, folks. Hold on, 2 seconds. Oh, this is emergency headphones. Bear with me. Talk, people, talk.
So, how's everybody? What distraction?
Yeah, all good, all good.
Not too bad at all, not too bad at all.
The Richie 2.0.
Yeah. Welcome, JJ.
Thank you guys.
Hopefully this will work. Testing. Hello. Good evening, one. Good evening, all, and welcome to the Supernatural Dogshit podcast. Sorry about the technical issue at the start, but if you had have seen this place an hour ago, it was cables everywhere. Oh yeah, I was wondering as well that I couldn't hear you guys. All of yous were muted as well.
Oh, we've been muted that entire
That
time.
whole fucking time, you guys
So-
were muted.
Oh no,
Yeah.
they just missed that. Like they missed
all
that
they
epic
heard-
tale.
But what they did hear was the echoes of you guys from this.
Okay, I'll shut up. So
Sorry about that, folks. So, how are we up?
All good, man.
Good, man.
Yeah, it's tense times, people. Tense times. I don't want to jump straight into it because I want to have a bit of a laugh before we go on with this tonight because last week was very serious.
Yeah.
last week it was heavy. It was just heavy.
It was very heavy.
It was
Yeah.
breakdown heavy, man.
It was one of those. It was one of those podcasts though that after you have the podcast, you're literally thinking,
You
did
think
I
back on it.
did I do a good enough job? Did I?
Are you
going to
be cancelled in the near future? Like,
Is YouTube going to say to me, no? So social media, Meg.
You can get us on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Podbean. We are on Player FM. We're everywhere, you guys. Just give us a like and share on Facebook too. That'd be a great help.
And if you could stop molesting the microphone, that would be a fantastic help as well.
Okay.
You're going to watch this back later on tonight when you go home. You're literally like this. And it just looked, yes, that's exactly what it looked like. So 085 2727 212 if you want to text or WhatsApp into the show. Do give us a like and subscribe. And please share the video because without you guys sharing,
Pretty
it's just
please.
a very small group of people listening where we would want it to be a bigger group of people.
we love our core fans, but you know,
Yeah,
share us.
we need to expand a little bit. Can anybody else hear that?
Of
yeah,
course,
there's now a bit of a background buzz there.
There is a
Yeah.
background buzz there, isn't there?
It's the energy in the room, man.
You fixed
I
it.
fucking hate.
I think you know it's back.
No, it's still there. Still there, but I don't know whether that's going out over the air.
Comment in. Can you hear that back?
Oh
Good
yeah,
noise.
guys, we need your feedback. Can you hear us okay and everything?
Yeah, is the sound okay? Because that's
There was
really.
a lot of
Commenting
jiggery
Teresa.
pokery.
Teresa's a great one for commenting.
What a legend.
Yeah.
We are all hearing this, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yes.
No feedback yet. We'll just wait for a comment to come through.
Oh God!
Anyway,
Why is it always the fucking
Just
same?
carry on, man.
Why can't it be just a case of walking into the studio, turning the desk on, and going, "Okay, we're ready to go"? But no, every single time there's LEDs hanging down, there's wires all over the
Because you
fucking.
leave
but
place.
everything
you-
last minute,
I was
man.
about to say.
Well, no,
Absolutely.
Right to say.
technically, I'm here about 3-4 hours already.
yeah,
Then I
but
had to move all the shit out of here because we've only got a small studio, as everybody can see. But what you don't see is this direction is only about fucking 6 feet, 7.
Yeah.
Well, no, about 8
there's
feet.
about 2 foot behind the camera.
Yeah, about 2 foot behind the camera, so no storage, so we have to stack up shit all over the place.
But you took
I have
the
a few
place
comments
apart
here
today.
on
Okay,
my phone. I
yeah.
can't get on this just yet. You guys, we're just having a few technical difficulties. Bear with us. Daniela says, howdy. Hi, Teresa's here. She says, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Teresa.
Christine is waving hello. Teresa Lam Madison. Anyone else getting a chopping sounds and it's glitchy? So we are having technical difficulties, you guys. Just bear with us one moment, please. And we will
Did
sort
you
it
plug
out.
it back everything in right?
I did, people.
Do you want to just have a quick gander, man? Sure.
No.
No? Okay.
No,
fair
because
enough.
unfortunately, everything that we have to get at is under this desk.
Literally have
Check
to
on the brakes.
disassemble
So,
everything.
Yeah.
literally,
Will there be better access in the new studio?
There has to be.
Okay.
Well, I've already thought for the new studio, there's going to literally just be somewhere under the desk we just open up and it's
Yeah.
all there ready to plug in.
Little
Brilliant.
Aladdin's cave.
Yeah. But
Over
I,
there, that was
I genuinely think that the sound we're hearing is coming from the box under the table, so it's
Audio
not going out
interface, yeah.
live.
Yeah.
So I genuinely do think that. But there's only one way for us to find out, and that is for you guys to all speak amongst yourselves there.
Hello.
Fill a bit of
Hello.
airtime while I go outside with my mobile phone and go, oh yeah, that works fine. Go ahead. Go
I'm
ahead.
using mine. I'm live now, like. Aiden. Aiden.
So, it's 2021. What's everyone looking forward to? Are you hoping on a gig? Are you hoping on a holiday?
Just a gig. Gigs are the only thing
Oh,
I
man.
actually miss. I'm living my life as normal as ever. You know, I'm not with this whole COVID shit. Like, I am part of that game or their system and their plandemic, scandemic. That ain't me. So I'm doing my own thing and I'm loving it, but I just miss gigs. Like,
Yeah.
just miss seeing everybody rocking out and yeah. It sucks. But sure, what about you? Like,
Same, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
I'm actually just mad to fucking get back into a field, make some art, and dance around like for like
dude.
3 days.
Yeah. It's different for everybody. We all have our own little thing. We
Yeah,
miss them,
yeah. Like, it's not the same. Watch, like, you know, like all the big people like Norman Cook and fucking Carl Coxon, they'll be putting out as class streams like really regularly.
Yeah.
But to be honest, like sitting at home with a can
It's
kind
not
of going.
the same.
No.
I know it's not. We need to get out. Yeah, what about you?
Oh, live shows definitely. I need some proper moshing, some proper fucking just music blown into my ears. And yeah, mostly just the music.
I know
from
the
my
last
side.
gig I was at was in March, and that was
Jazz.
the Arc down one there in the stables, waking like, oh, best gig ever. If only we knew it would be the last one, you know.
Oh,
You
for
think of
sure.
these things, I would have.
This one
Actually, the
time,
place wouldn't be
Bandcamp.
standing if they knew that.
I know.
So-
yeah.
The glitching noise that people are hearing is your microphone when you're touching it.
Oh shit. Okay. I got
So
you
kind
away,
of,
man.
yeah, leave it in one place. The buzzing noise can't be heard.
Nice.
So we're the only ones putting up with the uncomfortable
I can suffer for the crowd. I'm
audio
happy.
bzzz in our ear all night. In fairness, the audio buzz is there just to replace Richie because you know that's all he is
Shots fired.
noise in the
Shots
background.
Richie, if you
Buzz,
feel
buzz,
different,
buzz.
please comment in.
Yeah, 085272721.
212.
Go on, Richie, text in the show. So, did we get up to anything wild or wonderful during the last week or so?
I actually had 2 good things happen to me in the last week.
Fantabulous. Please
One
do
was
tell.
I put wind deflectors on my car so I can smoke when it's raining,
Yeah. Nice.
which is like the best thing in the world.
Yes. No raindrops.
You can smoke when it's raining without
I know,
them.
but the rain comes in on me, and now
A
it
a
doesn't.
little bit.
It's enough to annoy me.
Are you that much of a fucking snowflake?
No, it's just it's
Got a little-
it's gonna ruin the fucking upholstery on the fucking B pillar.
A little bit of water.
It's gonna ruin the upholstery on the B pillar. It's a stain that appears over time,
It's
and it
not a
shows
pa-
strong age.
It's not a fucking power hose. It's a little bit of maybe
Hey,
total 50 drops.
That like Chinese water torture where they drop it on your forehead enough and it drives you mad. Like same
Actually,
thing.
Did you know? Be early for did you know? But did you know that Chinese water torture, drip torture?
Wasn't invented by the Chinese.
No, it actually was.
Okay.
But it's quite manageable if you have that drip, drip, drip. Apparently, the human brain adapts to rhythms,
Okay,
so you're actually comfortable with rhythms.
right.
So they what they done was they put it in as at random intervals, and that drove people crazy.
Can we test this out when we
bit
get the new
weird.
studio? Like you just do like an entire show going through that.
Yeah, sure, not a problem. I'm
We're
not
getting a
adverse to
bathtub.
I'm not adverse to a bathtub. Why would we need a bathtub?
I don't know. Why not?
No, that's
It's-
for
I'm sure-
waterboarding and shit.
I'm sure, and here I'm very aerodynamic, so I would also be hydrodynamic as well.
Yeah, it's just gonna roll right off you.
Exactly. Water off a duck's back. What's the story, Baldy? You're very quiet over there.
I'm very sober, so
You are very sober.
I'm very sober. I'm,
But it's
very
okay to be sober.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I enjoy being
Well,
sober.
I'm
every
here,
now and then.
Mr. Last Minute, as per the usual. So
How about
just
last
getting
minute,
into it. So
yeah. Richie couldn't make it, you guys. He's doing his girl's bedroom up.
Well, actually, what we should say that is Richie is a very busy family man,
indeed,
and he's just up to his tits. And I know if he could be here, he would be here. But unfortunately, he has bedrooms to finish, or there's no kids in bedrooms, and then there's just kids sleeping on floors, and that's very third world country, South Africa type thing. So we don't do that here. Shots fired, no?
Unless, it's some sort of fucking sleepover where it's a case of just you need to sleep, go to sleep.
Did you go to many sleepovers when you were a kid?
Yeah, loads.
Okay, here's a question for you. And this is about your sexuality, so
This
please don't
better be
get
nothing to do
offended.
with last week, you prick.
What was last week?
Never mind.
Okay, the transgender thing?
No.
Okay. So, were you ever... what? No,
Never mind.
you'll tell me
We're
after the
just
show,
gonna
yeah?
walk on from here.
After the show, you'll tell me.
Right.
Okay, right, fair enough. So, now it sounds like we did something. I'm running this through in my brain going, what did I say? What did I do? And now I'm thinking, do the audience now think that...
Move on. They'll comment in if
See,
they want you
you're
to know
making
more.
You're making it worse.
No, you're just digging yourself into a hole there. Now, come on,
It's
what are we
because
talking about?
space docked. I have no idea. I completely forget. No, sleepovers.
What about them?
So you did have sleepovers when you were a child?
Yeah.
Okay, because you were bisexual, did
Right.
that make that difficult?
No, because most of me, most of me fucking sleeping over with family and cousins and stuff, you know? And all the ones around my age are all like.
So it wasn't
girls.
like a bunch of, like, because when we had sleepovers when we were kids, like me and my brother would have our friends, which would be all boys.
Yeah.
So it'd be maybe 10 boys sleeping in the house. So what I was basically getting at it, if that was 10 girls sleeping in the house and just me and the brother, of course at that age you would experiment and do shit. So I'm just wondering, at your age,
No.
did that happen?
No.
No, going
Fair
into
enough.
it on there, even if it did, man.
When did you start experimenting?
With what? sex or?
Sexuality, not sex itself.
All right. God.
Jeez, I don't know. Like, you mean,
Really?
Sure. How would you know? Like,
Yeah.
I can remember when I fucking started
just part
experimenting.
what'd you do? Hump a
Your
pillow?
No, I was in primary school, and in primary school there was 2 bathrooms, one for the girls, one for the boys.
All right.
But in the bathroom was a low wall that you could stand on the back of the cistern
You
and
dirt
look
bird.
over at the
That's
girls.
wrong. You didn't
You
look
dirt
over
bird.
it, did
I
you?
did.
You
I was-
did.
I did.
Oh,
Fucking
of course
scumbag.
you did it.
Of course I did.
Scumbag.
I was like 10 years of age, and I heard a girl go in, and I know this girl to this day.
And does she know this?
She has no idea. This is why I'll never ever say her name. I will never
How
say her
the
name.
fuck? How didn't she know? Some little prick leering over the wall.
Hey,
You're lucky she didn't know, to be fair. Like, that'd
I
well
think-
get you called out.
I think that's where my interest in voyeurism started. It must be.
Probably is the first time you felt yourself raised anyway.
But in fairness,
Man, I gotta be careful when I go to the toilet around here.
Swear
like,
the fuck,
you
like,
might say
lock
it,
that door.
in fairness, I remember also being in primary school, so young again.
Yeah.
And the girls would be sitting on that side of the desk, and the boys would be sitting over on this side of the desk, and the boys would say to the girls, "Look under the desk." And the boy had their willy out. Or the girls
What
would
kind
be
of school did you go to?
a little fucking perverts. Like, genuinely,
Say perverts, like-
this is the school that I went to, yeah.
Well, now we know why you are the way you are.
Yeah,
Isn't it great? We're
makes
doing so much
sense.
homeschooling these days.
There's so many weird territories. I'm not even going to dip my toe into that water
Yeah.
I
whatsoever.
remember what we used to do is like, you know, remember like when you're younger, you know, you get an erection for fucking nothing. You
Oh,
just
yeah.
be fucking breeze can be
On a bus.
right.
An
A
old
breeze can
system boot, and it just happened every now and again, like.
Right. So what we used to do is like in the class, you sit there with a hard on and kind of like put it across towards your pocket, and you
Yes.
tell the one next to you like,
Put your hand in the pocket.
No, get my razor out my pocket, and it's like,
Oh my god.
But every guy
we
has
did that.
suffered having to tuck their erection into the belt of their pants.
Only way if you had to stand up in class to fucking read something out, and you were just
Yeah.
like at a bad time for it.
Shout out to Frank, you guys. He says evening all.
Oh, by the way,
Yeah,
are they not coming in on that?
They're coming in on my phone, not this. It's like frozen, man. I can't get it. I tried to, but no.
Are you sure they're not coming in?
Positive, man. I wouldn't bullshit you, like.
Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah, man.
Fuck,
sucks.
fuck my life.
You need a spare monitor so you can watch that monitor, and you won't have to ask any questions.
Yeah, this is very true. But there are going to be big changes, big changes. I promise you, I sound like fucking
You
Trump.
always say that.
Change,
You're
we're
so
going
last
to
minute.
change. Make Ireland fucked up again. In fairness,
You're doing your part.
we've always been a fucked up country, haven't we?
Oh yeah,
Like
absolutely.
mentally fucked up.
Well, no, we're just critical thinkers.
Nah, we're not really. I mean,
Nah,
critical,
no, we
critical
are.
thinkers.
We are. We don't accept stuff as quick as other nations because when you're not at the epicenter of an empire, in any sort of historical sense, and you're always on the outskirts, you're always looking to see what the plan is, where things are happening, how things are happening. Whereas if you're at the epicenter, if you look at like the fucking gammons over in the UK, like, do you know, they're all just like rule Britannia, and do you know, they've no perspective on what's going on in the world. They just
No, they have
believe in-
zero perspective.
Exactly. They just believe in this like everlasting strength, and it's just like, nah, that's gone about like 100 years.
Yeah, and the rest.
Yeah.
Did you guys even figure that out?
No.
No?
We refresh it every still
Okay,
doing
fine.
the
Just
same
use my
thing.
phone, man. Sure, it's the same thing, isn't it?
Fan fucking tastic. The effort, guys. I swear to God, one of these days,
Be grand.
I'm gonna come in here and there's gonna be no lights on because I'll be sitting in the corner masturbating.
Ollie Martin would say that.
We need the infrared camera for that one.
More like the Hubble. There was something I was about to get to. It was about school when we were all younger and kids and crazy stuff that we did when
We were
kids.
moving on from last week, remember?
Oh, actually, there was something that was brought up last week. Now, I don't listen to the podcast. I don't do it. I can't stand the sound of my own voice, and I don't like you people. So, you know. so why would I listen to it? I'm joking. Of course, I'm joking.
Aiden only likes the people who text in.
Yes, to 085
272
Wow.
Yes, but we were talking about the difference in children back then, us when we were kids,
Right.
versus kids now. And all week I've been pondering this type of stuff, and the difference is it's a viscera, it's a gap. It's huge.
You on about the millennial gap? That one, like.
No, it's just a gap between, say, let's say between
Technology.
me. I'm a 40-year-old man. My nephew, who is 11, I think he's 11, like the difference of his childhood versus my childhood, it's just, you can't juxtaposition them. They're totally different.
Yeah.
Completely different.
Absolutely, like even like around our age group, where you were halfway between the technology world and the pre-technology world. Do you know, where you still went out and like you built a base or you built a fort or whatever, but you also kind of like maybe play games online too.
Yeah.
Whereas nowadays it's like all games online.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah.
Like it's all into this like interconnected world, and you know, it's all just very different.
Which is pretty strange, because when a child is growing up, recently Ed Harris got a cat, a little kitten,
Yeah, no, so cute.
in the house, and it has a tendency, you can see the scratches here on
I
the
have
house.
scratches.
I know about
no
the
way.
scratches,
Oh man, that was so funny.
It has a tendency to scratch and use its mouth, but for a cat, that's how it explores the world. It uses its mouth.
You're meant to
uses its
bite them
claws.
back when they do that to teach them to stop.
Actually, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to play fight with them and let them win 30% of the times, and you have to win 70% of the times, or they won't play with you.
Yeah. You have to bite them back.
I thought you were going
Well,
to say you need to like show dominance.
But
type
yeah,
of
you
thing.
need to show
Yeah.
dominance 70% of the times,
Okay.
or it will not
and
play
how
with you.
how do you calculate like
Don't know. This is
Just
something.
play with them, like.
Yeah.
Why is there a percentage on it? Aiden, I would,
No smashing kittens.
don't go there tonight, man.
Oh
You're
man.
with the wrong person. Like,
Poor cat.
poor John Jones.
No, the game would be over there. Like,
Like, it would, genuinely, the worst way I've ever seen somebody killing a kitten. The worst way I've ever seen
how
it.
many times have you seen people kill kittens?
Yeah,
It was
you
on
know the
Facebook.
stories.
It was on Facebook.
What groups are you in?
And look, I have.
No, weird shit does happen on Facebook. I seen weird shit too. And
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
know.
fuck, that's on
I
Facebook.
have people
like, yeah.
sending me porn from God knows what country. I swear to God. Just go through my Facebook and you're
don't
like,
want
who are
to.
these fucking
What the
people?
hell?
But there was a guy, he took out a little newborn, like newborn kitten, and he held out his hand like that and just hit its head off his knuckle, and the kitten immediately died.
Fuck's
That's
sake,
shit.
what's wrong with
And
people,
it's
man?
awful. Like it
That's
was fucking
completely shit.
completely unacceptable.
Even to video it, man. Is
But
sick.
legal.
I don't think that's legal.
Yeah,
Isn't
that
it-
doesn't
that's
sound
not legal.
No.
Yes, it is. It's perfectly legal for a
It's
a
the
cat
fine
or
definition
dog
of animal
owner.
cruelty,
No,
man.
to kill. It's okay to kill your animals. You can't be cruel to them, but you're allowed to kill your own animals. There's no
Yeah,
law
maybe if
against
they're
it.
suffering or something, yeah, that makes sense, but not just for fucking.
Yeah,
So
for
because-
Is that
sake,
suffering?
Yeah, but no, man.
No,
Define
like,
suffering.
If your dog is like, your dog is, I don't know, like can't walk, can't fucking shit, can't piss, can't just laying there, like,
It's lived its life like.
exactly, it's old as fuck. Put it out its misery. That's understandable.
Look,
but you don't
we're in
take
that
fucking-
situation right now. We have a dog at home, Ozzy. He's not doing too good. You know what I mean? But none of us are going to put him down. You know, we want him to die at home. We don't want to bring him to a vet, anything like that. But it kills me every day knowing that he's in pain every day. Do you get me? Like,
I'm
Yeah.
not saying it's politically
it's a
correct,
hard thing to do.
but I
You-
mean,
it's-
like,
can't
It's
even think
a
about it.
horrible thing
It's
to do
yeah.
to an animal. But again, it's all down to perspective, because in other countries, there's cultures who wouldn't think twice about that, or people eating dogs or spiders or all sorts of weird shit.
well, that's the other thing. Was the
Meat
cat
is
going to go
meat.
into a fucking salad or something, or is it
Which,
just
cat?
Yeah, the one that you're speaking about.
No, it's just he just wanted to show the quickest way to kill a cat,
Yeah,
a kitten. That's what I think the title of the video was.
Okay.
Now, it was quickly removed from Facebook.
Really?
Yes.
Sure, I'd say it's reported all around.
Absolutely.
Banned.
Within seconds, like.
But it's amazing that a video like that can be taken off of Facebook, and yet videos of George Floyd being murdered, or, well,
Oh, there's worse out there,
involuntarily
man.
killed.
There's worse out there.
But that's you know, of interest to the public versus in the public interest. You know, that whole debate.
Teresa
Yeah.
left a comment. Will I read out comments?
Yeah,
please do, yeah,
Anyways,
please do.
Teresa says the documentary "Don't Fuck with Cats" is about
Oh,
suffering.
excellent.
I have
Yeah.
really
Watch that, it's
I've
brilliant.
seen
Is it on Netflix? Is it?
I've
I'll
seen it,
Check
yeah,
it out.
seen it.
Wow, thanks for that, Teresa. We'll check it out, man. Frank Durkin. Everybody assumes, no one growing up, that everybody learns the same things and in the same way, but don't, because we're all on separate journeys, learning from our separate experiences how to deal with them. Essentially, we are all students and we are all teachers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Words of
Yeah.
Wisdom by Frank.
Words of wisdom. Frank and
Frank
honest.
Durkin.
Frank and honest.
I've seen that Don't Fuck with Cats. You've seen it?
No.
You've seen
I've
it?
seen it. Yeah, it's
You've
brilliant.
seen it?
Brilliant. Yeah, I've
Right,
seen it. Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's brilliant. It's interesting.
What's it about
Just
even?
the-
like,
So the premise is there was this guy who got a cat and murdered it and put it on Facebook. Now, what he did, he suffocated it in a bag, didn't he?
Yeah.
It's something like that, yeah.
And some woman saw this video, and it's like the 35th unspoken rule of the internet is don't fuck with cats. So this woman seen this, and she tried to identify the guy to see who he was. And it became this big story and a big manhunt for a guy who killed a cat, but then he killed another cat.
There was a core group of them that came together in order to search
Yes.
through this video for clues.
They found the sockets on the walls were from a specific area in blah where it was sold, and Hoover parts, and
Yeah, it was
like
all
super detective work, yeah?
super
It was
detective work by individuals who just came together as a
Yeah.
group. But one lady brought it to the attention of the police and said,
Three,
this,
they just said 3 of them, actually.
3 kids. Yeah, well, one lady actually brought this to the attention of the police and said, he's going to progress into murder. And he did.
Yeah.
And he videoed himself killing a person. Now, I have a huge issue with Don't Fuck With Cats on Netflix, because Netflix skipped a beat.
Which one?
They missed such a vital part of information in that. And I'm left there going, is there forums? Is there people talking
was
about
it?
this?
Yeah, yeah.
Have the police not investigated this? What the fuck is going on? So, through the entire story, I'm trying to think of the guy's name. Can you remember his name?
Nah, Breeze. His name should never be spoken.
085
no.
2727 212.
212.
Text us in the guy's name with, from Don't Fuck With Cats. It's a
Teresa should know.
God, I can't remember his name. But he basically, after he was caught, he put forward that he had been a sex slave to some guy, and this guy was making him do.
Sorry, man, I had to. You can talk about a sex slave, and here's this fucking lit up dung dropping from the table.
Exactly. LEDs dropping down. We use the word sex on cue. It's like Quagmire's house.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Where was I in the story? So yeah, the guy killed somebody. He said that he was made a sex slave from when he was much younger, and this guy had control over him, and it was the guy that was forcing him to do all of these things. Now he had gone to a psychiatrist years before he even done these things to the cats, and pre-planned the story years beforehand, so it would make it look like
Crazy
there was
shit, man.
it was a Kaiser Sose type of thing.
Right.
But his mother phoned him in prison, and you can hear the prison call. And he said, "Ma'am, everybody thinks there's no third guy. There is. Look at the second last frame of the video, and you will see somebody's hand coming in from the left-hand side, where
way.
I'm in the video over here, and I'm sitting there looking at it. I went, fuck yeah, hold on, rewind that. There's somebody's hand. There was a second person in the room. And Netflix glossed over this. Never any mention of it again, of trying to find who this accomplice was. They said that there was no accomplice, that he was all made up in his mind. But who the fuck was this?
Fuck.
You've seen it?
I've seen it. I haven't actually copped onto that at all. And like the first question I have to ask is, well, how did they know it was a real person? Did the hand do any real movements?
Yes, it came into the screen as if it was, let's say this is the screen area.
Yeah.
So the hand just came in around like that. I'd say about...
No, see, like that could have just been like a fucking hand on a stick.
Could have been. It could have been.
Like it didn't come in and go woo-doo-doo.
No, it was too quick. It's only 2 frames.
That's a hand on a stick, man.
It's only 2 frames. It could be. It could
An
be.
old bicycle wheel and a stick could do that.
But is it not worth investigation?
Maybe they looked at it and they kind of just went, "That's a hand on a stick."
But the thing is, without evidence of it being a hand on a stick, you must take the position to assume there
Is another
there's
person.
something more nefarious going on
Yeah,
here.
but they
or
could
you're
have had,
neglecting your duties as an officer.
They could have had a video expert examine it and kind of go, "That's a prosthetic or not."
Why didn't they mention that in the documentary?
Wasn't newsworthy.
And you know what I find really problematic is that Netflix have a tendency to make villains into people.
Like how?
They will show you horrendous documentaries, but show the softer side of the serial killer.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're
How he had a
advertising-
beautiful moth collection.
Yes, you know, or heads collection. I don't know. No, but
He could make a great coat.
a perfect example. That kid, Gabriel Fernandez. You remember the kid that was killed?
Oh, that was fucking rotten, man. I haven't actually finished watching that series
I did.
yet.
I did.
It's just...
Never heard of it. Who? What's it about?
Oh,
It's called The Trial of Gabriel Fernandez. Gabriel Fernandez was a 6-year-old boy who was murdered by
Oh,
his
that's bad.
mother and stepfather.
horrifically tortured and then murdered.
No, when I have never,
Oh, yeah, no, it's
never,
Sick shit.
never in my entire life have I seen or something that made me hurt
Oh,
so
yeah,
much
yeah.
inside for what this child went through. They shot him with BB guns. When he was found
Locked
dead,
him in a press.
he was chained into a press. He was eating kitty litter.
That's no life, man.
He was
Oh, God.
beaten. They put his head through the wall. They said that his head had the consistency of Rice Krispies.
Yeah.
His skull was crushed in so much. Then they just literally picked him up and just bounced him off walls. They done
Unspeakable
stabbed him,
things.
burned him, and they
You
burned.
just killed my vibe,
They
man.
they
No.
burned his little
bad.
genitalia.
Yeah, man, it's disgusting. Like,
That's what they done to this kid. And why were we talking about
because
of
you
the
have
relation
the-
between
the
this movie?
documentary on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yes. So
what
here we go.
Netflix have to do
Yeah.
in order to kind of sell their story is that they show
The softer side. So now these two people are absolute fucking villains. These are villains in the story. But when the friends of the stepfather were questioned and his work colleagues and the people he worked for, he worked in a nursing home, they said he was the most wonderful, kind-hearted, gentle guy they'd ever come across.
But see,
And then they started to build on that. And now I'm sitting here going, now I'm tormented. Here's a guy who can do
No.
this and who can do this.
Yeah.
No, it just shows that like you can never fully trust someone
Exactly,
until
behind
you know the
closed
whole of their life.
Yep.
Like they knew him in a professional environment where he had the mask on.
What was he like when he went back home?
He,
A whole
exactly.
different scenario.
Do you know what I mean? And that like he was encouraging his wife to jump in on the torture, and like it's just like unless you fully know someone, you don't know
Well,
someone at all.
According to this story, according to all sources, that the mother was the source of all the torture. She made him do it. Well, all
I
because
don't know, man.
the kid was actually taken off her when he was only like 2 or 3 years of age, and her brother took the kid in, and her brother was gay with a boyfriend, and they done a wonderful job
course, yeah.
Absolutely.
from that age up to the age that he was given back to his mother, but he became a little bit flamboyant. It's monkey see, monkey do. It's not a big fucking deal.
It makes
but,
no fucking odds.
But the stepfather
Kid was
was
just free to express. It's a kid.
the
Yeah,
stepfather called him a queer, and all the most awful derogatory names you could say to a child
Yeah.
while punching the head off him.
Absolutely, yeah.
What a fucking animal!
Did they get jail time for this? What happened to the...
Oh, they're in prison.
Oh, yeah.
You know what the great thing is? Your woman. There's a video of her in prison. Resisting being put into the cell and what have you. And I'm gonna fucking kill you all and blah blah. I'm a big
Try
hard
it,
woman.
bitch. Yeah.
2 days later, hits the headline. She got fucking beaten. She got when the women in the prison heard who was coming in,
Oh, man.
they
Happy
were like,
days.
"We're getting
Oh,
this bitch."
They did a lottery on that, I'd say.
Justice was served.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, and speaking about justice being served, actually, let me check the time. What time is it, folks? We're only 28 minutes
An
into
hour.
this.
What's wrong with that? Like, it's a bit of crack. We're having it. We're keeping it
28
light and friendly and
but there's no-
accessible.
that's why I don't want to get into the whole.
No, we're just going
George
to talk about Gabriel Fernandez.
George
Rest in peace.
Nkencho. How will I remember that?
Just
Think
a
of-
silent N in front of the Kencho. Just go Nkencho.
Yeah, but
Think
no,
of
see,
Nintendo, but Nkencho.
see, that's what I do. I do word association. How do you remember difficult words?
Just try and remember them as best as you can. Like,
Yeah, pretty much.
No
Like, I just
fucking
kind of
up.
like, I'd either repeat it a few times and associate it to the context, or I'll forget.
See, I associate it with just other words.
I repeat it 3
That's
times in my
weird.
head. And it's
Yeah.
A perfect.
same with a riff if I'm learning
A
guitar.
perfect example is I hear the word. So you know the way a cat's nose is wet, or a bear's nose, or a dog's nose is wet.
Yeah.
Do you know what that's
It
called?
could be dry too, though.
No.
Right. Okay. So there's
I'm not
only-
Googling anything.
There's only one. There's only
Fuck
one
that.
person who actually got this. When I gave them 2 words that I associated with this, and you mash the words together and see what you get. And only one person got this. So I thought of a rhino and an aquarium. So what is it? Why can I hear feedback? Are
Aquarium?
you playing on that?
Oh, baby. Wait, I turned down. Yep.
Yep.
Oh, I thought you paused.
Sure, you had her turned up. Going
So
like
a
that.
rhino and an aquarium. What do you get when you smash them together?
Rhinarium.
There we go.
Yeah.
Second person together. But that's how I remember words. Like your what's system? Your circadian rhythm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think of arcade something. I always get it
Oh
from
yeah,
arcade.
you're up all night playing games anyway.
Nah, well, virtual porn.
Playing games.
First person shooters.
Can't wait for virtual porn.
Man, I'm not gonna lie, but as we're going into this fucking what are we on now? Our 4th lockdown.
Oh God, I just got
Is
coke
this
in
the
my.
fourth one? Oh wow! I
Yeah.
wonder how many we're gonna get.
But can you just write out a list of all the sites you go onto, because like I'm running out here.
Porn sites.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could always do yourself a favor and set up yourself a small little
QR
consolidation
code. Yeah.
QR code from socialqr.xyz. That's what you can always.
Oh, God.
You know, considering Richie's not here, they didn't get a mention tonight, but they get a mention in the ad. And we also have Newtown Coffee as
Newtown
well.
Coffee, we do.
Which we'll
Woo,
bring
coffee!
an ad in for them hopefully soon. A funny ad, but I miss Ed for doing that stuff. Ed
need
was
Ed for
brilliant.
ads.
The Ed's brilliant at that. Like,
Everybody comment in if you want Ed to keep doing more sexy ads.
Yeah,
please do,
085
Ed.
2727212. Anybody else just any random shit we want to talk about before?
What happened to you during the weekend?
Yeah.
Oh God, I stopped taking my pills.
Yeah, you were saying that before the show,
man.
and well done, and
What?
I 100% agree with it.
What a fucking nightmare! It's just a nightmare from start to finish. There's nothing enjoyable
If you make the first
about
week, you're
coming
grand.
off
You can do
prescription
more.
medication.
I'm telling
Right.
you.
And do you know any sort of time frame for how long the different withdrawal effects are going to last?
Not
or?
a fucking notion.
Cool. You happy enough not knowing?
I'm okay because there's one thing I haven't given up, and that is smoking a doobie.
Right.
Now, what I have noticed is that when I take my prescription medication at night time, I will
Alcohol.
normally smoke a doobie with that, but I never used to feel the effects of smoking a joint.
No, because you were so
Because
fucked
we're
on everything else.
on
Yeah.
everything
Immune to
else.
it.
So I was like, oh, weed just doesn't do it for me anymore. Weed doesn't. And then I stopped my medication and just was smoking weed, and I was like, oh fuck, I'm
I was the same. You know
I
me.
should
Yeah.
not be driving. What am I doing out here?
You know me smoking non-stop all the time, and I quit a while back and everything, and it's the best thing I ever did. And the first time I smoked, I felt like I was fucking 18 again, and I was in the park, and I was like, oh my god, why don't I quit all the time and just get back on it? It's
Tolerance
awesome.
breaks are brilliant if
It's
you're a heavy
brilliant.
user of
But
anything.
see,
Weed
you know,
cleanse, I call it.
the issue that I had was when I the very first time I smoked weed, I'll never forget it.
Me too.
It was my ex-wife at the time. She had a friend who smoked weed, and I had never tried weed. I'd tried hash before, which is a lot lighter.
Well, no, see, there's two different. I'm going to go nerdy now.
Go on.
So in THC, tetrahydrocannabinol,
Cannabinoid or cannabinol, sorry.
there's two different variants of it. There's delta 8 and delta 9. In your fresh bud, it's usually delta 9 THC, but in the cannabis resin, because the oxidation process used to make it, it's more predominantly delta 8, and that has like a more mellow effect, slightly longer lasting, doesn't give you the paranoia and racing thoughts that delta 9 can give you, and it's thought to be possibly better for pain, but that's still unconfirmed, so you know.
What's
whatever.
with these deltas? Or do you mean like indica and sativa? Like
No,
one
no,
can
no.
help with say
Like-
sleep, and the other would give you more of a buzz. Say like
Kind of, but it's just like it's down to the THC molecule itself, and it's generally more to do with oxidation than the
So
growing.
is that? So you're saying that the good stuff, or the stuff that makes you paranoid, sorry, the bad stuff,
Yeah.
that's in weed and not hash?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Because that works out brilliant for my story. Because I didn't expect.
do you get paranoid when you smoke? Do you?
The first time I smoked it, I remember she brought it home, and I was like, "Ooh, I'd never tried this stuff before." So I just smoked it like I'd smoke a hash
Cigarette
joint,
or
a hash joint.
yeah.
And I smoked it up the chimney because I didn't want it to smell.
Oh,
it was
that's
really
the best
stinky.
way to get stoned. You get fucked.
And I remember,
You're half lying upside down at that stage, like.
And you get the pain in your shoulder from
Yeah.
needling on your arm, and you're like,
I remember
trying to get
lying
up.
there thinking to myself, "I will never ever do this again." That's what I remember thinking to myself. I
Yeah.
think
Oh yeah,
I
we all
am
say that.
so fucking high that it's uncomfortable and it's, oh no, just go away. This is not what I was expecting.
Okay.
But then obviously when you get tolerance to it, it becomes more of an enjoyable, relaxing type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but that's what I have given up my prescription, but I haven't given up marijuana just yet, but I will because I have to give up smoking full stop.
Well, look, there's always vaporizers or whatever else, you know.
Yeah.
Don't suffer in silence, but I'm really glad that you are trying to take.
Same, yeah.
You're putting more effort into take control of yourself.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's the closest I've gotten to being off my medication in 10 years.
That's amazing.
That's good,
and you're
man.
almost a week
And I know
out.
it's only 4 days. That's all it is.
Doesn't
but that's
matter.
4 days that I
starts.
went without pills. Whereas before, now that's not to say that the nights are not fucking terrible. You're
No,
staring,
I'd say they're
you're
rough,
staring at the ceiling and you're going, please just sleep. Why can't you just go sleep? You're tired. You're yawning. You're fucking tired.
Do you
And now-
put like I find myself when I'm trying to sleep and it's difficult. I'll put on like
Music.
no, sometimes, but sometimes I'll kind of get into the music, so I put on like an audiobook because they can be really boring if you pick the right book.
Or bore yourself to sleep. Is that what you do?
Kinda, yeah,
Oh,
just
I won't have
like-
the patience. No, I'd rather listen to metal or something class and then be
Fair
like,
enough.
sleep easy. Don't
No, I
listen to
can't
something
do
that
that
would
because
wreck your head. No.
if I turn on music,
Torture.
I get into it.
Exactly. I'm exactly the same. If I put on some
Yeah,
music
get
which is going
into
to
it,
be
yeah.
metal, I know there's going to be something heavy, like fucking
I can
down
fall
the
asleep
line,
to
and I'll
metal,
be
man.
sitting there like fucking headbanging the
Yeah.
whole night and singing along as well.
No
So,
way.
Yeah.
I can chill with metal. I literally fall asleep to metal.
oh
like.
no way.
The type of
Oh, it's
music,
hectic, but I love it. Like,
the type of music I like to listen to when I'm high is inspirational music. So it's mostly music that comes from movies.
Polyphonic spree and stuff.
I don't know who that is.
Okay.
It's like Inception. You know Inception.
Yeah.
The Hans Zimmer Time.
Yeah.
You know that type of music, that epic kind of. I
Oh,
love
yeah.
that type of music. when I'm
One
high.
man.
That type of shit. I love
To
that
save a podcast.
because that's the stuff that makes me think. And last night I noticed when I was lying there on the couch going, please sleep. Don't ask me why I'm sleeping on the couch, but I'm sleeping on the couch. But I was going, please sleep. And I noticed that my foot was tapping along to the music.
See,
And I'm
that's-
going, this is not working.
getting greedy with it.
No,
man.
no. See, like, I actually my current sleepy book is The Lord of the Rings. Because like
Oh my
like
God.
I love the movies and all that, but like the books are grand too. It's just like I know the story
Never
and it's
seen any of
fairly
them.
well drawn out,
Wow.
and it's just like fuck this, put it on for an hour. By the end of it, I don't remember.
Get to a few comments.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Frank says problematic. Back to you when you couldn't say it.
Yes.
Teresa misses Ed, period. And then she said, weed smarts, nice. And then she goes, I prefer to eat it, but I will smoke.
Nice.
Awesome. Teresa, when you come over, we will have the sesh, man. We'll exchange sweets and everything. It'll be class. American candy for Irish candy, like.
Americans don't know how to drink.
I have never drank with an
They do
American.
drink shit.
No, they don't know how to drink.
As like an Irish person would, like.
Like Irish people, we have a tendency to binge drink. So if we go out, not me personally, but if somebody goes out, they will go out and they will get hammered. You know, you go over to
That's
America.
the whole point, though, isn't
and
it?
you no, but see, you go over to America and you say, oh, okay, well, let's go out for a drink. And they go, how many drinks did you have last night? 2 or 3.
Yeah.
That's it.
Time of my life.
As Tommy Tiernan says, when an American asks him how many drinks did you have last night, he goes, I don't understand the question.
Love Tommy Tiernan, man.
But we're so Irish. That's what's bred into us. Which really does. It's a great segue into our next topic, which I think we're going to delve into it now in about 15 fucking minutes.
Yeah, no, but see, like the other things as well is that like in America, they'll always do the count the next day when they meet up. They'll be like, "Oh my god, like I had like 3 shots and
Oh
2
my
beers."
God.
And, sorry for the atrocious accent, Teresa, I hope you don't hate us.
Nailed it, man. Couldn't be
But,
more
like,
accurate, like.
You know, like, whereas here it's like, oh, what you have last night? Well, look, sure, I had a bit of Guinness and I had a bit of Sambuca and I had a bit of vodka and sure, there might have been a whiskey or 2 at the end of the night, like,
Oh,
and
God.
you kind of just be listing out more like what types of drink you had rather than
yeah.
trying to keep any actual count because that's just difficult. Like, you'd want someone with a notepad beside you.
Lads, do me a big favour. I'm going to do something I don't normally do, but I'm going to play something for our listeners. Because we're talking about being Irish and because we're talking about drinking, it reminded me of a specific guy who done a very short sketch about Irish people drinking, stand-up comedian.
Right.
He only ever done this piece of comedy, and I have never seen him on the scene
Who
again.
is it?
I can't remember his name, so that's why you guys need to fill the air, talk about drinking, because this is about drinking.
Drink!
How's the old wicked going?
That's wicked, man. Yeah. I like the taste of blue. Tastes like blue, man.
It does taste like blue.
I can't get comfy in this fucking chair, man.
I could never drink those things. Like that's just heartburn in a bottle.
Yeah,
of it,
it's
man. Like,
so much sugar, like.
I'll stick to the fucking tinnies and to the brandy, man. I'm
Yeah.
good.
Ooh, nice bit of brandy.
I love me some
Makes
brandy.
you randy, man.
Well, anything makes me indeed, like if I've been drinking, but
Yeah, I have it. I
You
have
have
it.
it?
Yeah, no, it is a few minutes long, so do bear with us because it is, to me, this is my sense of humour and it describes the Irish so well.
But you have no sense of humour.
I do. It's when my sense of humour is other people's discomfort. No, really, it is. That's my sense of humour. When
Such
other
a
people are
dickhead.
discomfort. Like, if I make you uncomfortable in a conversation,
You'll
Oh, you
enjoy that.
smile.
I smile.
He
Yeah.
gets off on. He's a bit of a sadist.
I do
is.
get off on it.
You
I
do?
do like that type of stuff. So,
You dirty bastard. Yeah.
right, we're going to play this. So the guy's name is Keith Farron, and he was on Michael McIntyre's Comedy Roadshow. We probably get hit with a copyright strike for what I'm about to do.
Book
But
it.
we'll give it a go.
Can we credit the production company?
We can, Michael McIntyre.
Thank you. Hello, Dublin! Just to clear up one thing straight away. No, I'm not the love child of Chuck Norris and the Bee Gees, so get that. I wasn't in The Hangover either. What's nice for me is I travel a lot over to England. I gig a lot in England. It's wonderful being an Irish comedian over in England because English women love Irish men. We are worshipped over there. We are worshipped. And you ask them what do they love about us, and every one of them will tell you it's the accent. The accent. They love the accent. They never say the body, by the way. I have yet to hear one woman going, ooh, I love the pale white pasty skin. And the Guinness belly. And those flamingo legs. I mean, I can empathize. You can. I mean, Irish men, we're not the finest of physical specimens. So we have to rely on the accent. And the charm. No matter what you say about Irish men, we're always very, very charming. Or at least initially, we're charming. And then drink becomes involved. I can't help but feel that if Irish men didn't drink, we'd be Italian. Any Italians here? No, they're all out having sex somewhere. Do you see that? I do get into trouble though when I go abroad. I have gotten into trouble, but it's mostly to do with the drink. Yeah, I know a lot of comedians will come up here and they'll tell you they don't drink anymore. I do. I love my whiskey. I will drink whiskey with all of you till the cows come home. I will drink whiskey with you till we bring the cows home, we get the cows drunk, and we tip the cows over. The one thing I will never do drugs. Again. I got stoned once in my life, only once. I was out in Australia. I don't know if there's any Australians here tonight, probably working behind the bar. That's okay, that's where they belong. I was living in Sydney for 6 months. I lived with 3 women, and you're probably thinking, ooh, how exciting. But there were 3 Cork women, so no, no, and no. And people ask me, what did I learn about living with 3 women? I learned a lot of things. I learned about sharing my space with a woman. I learned about how many times in a day I could possibly be wrong. And I learned the meaning of a word I'd never heard of before, synchronization. You didn't tell us about that one, did you? For those of you who don't know, synchronization means that if you live with more than one woman once a month, you get the hell out of there. I mean, even in the countries where the Irish are loved, I get into trouble. I was over in America. There's no greater place in the world to gig if you're an Irish comedian. There are 55 million Americans claim to be Irish. We only sent them 3 million. We're not that good. And I was over there and all the clubs have different nights. The very first night I was booked to do a gig, all the clubs have different nights. Like Puerto Rican night, they have Latino night. I was obviously meant to be booked for UK and Ireland night. They accidentally booked me for African American night. We were all surprised when I walked out on stage. I spent 10 minutes pretending I was an albino. It's all I could think of. Eventually, when I started speaking to the crowd, I said, you know what, when I grew up in Ireland, I didn't have any black friends. It's not because I was racist in any way. It's simply when God set out his ice cream stall of the world, Ireland was the vanilla. That's all we were. God didn't want us to have any outside influence that may have led to jazz or hip-hop or any sort of rhythm whatsoever. I think most people have figured out that Irish people don't even dance. We just stand in the same place till we get really angry at the floor. That's all we do. We just stand there till eventually we're just like, I hate the floor, I hate the floor. Joined by lines of people hating the floor at the same time. And that is why Riverdance is a result of poor ethnic diversity, ladies and gentlemen. And if you like it, you're racist. I flew in last night for this show. I was so excited. A few friends said, let's, go out and let's have a few drinks. Let's get the hairy fella drunk and see what happens. And this was last night, and I know they got me drunk because I was in the corner of the bar that we were at thinking that I was being dark and mysterious. When in fact, I was asleep. And I woke up this morning, we'd gone drinking somewhere in Dublin. I couldn't tell you where. The only way I could retrace my steps was by going through the drink receipts I found in my wallet. I swear to you, I took them out. I was like, whiskey, 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 whiskey and white wine. I pulled. Hang on, where is she? Whiskey and white wine, whiskey and white wine, whiskey, oh. Double whiskey.
Kebab.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Keith Farnan. You've been watching.
Oh, fuck. He's very funny. You not think?
No, it's very, very good.
Yeah, I like the guy. He's very original.
Teresa says tequila and Richie says what up. So he's
On
listening.
the rich.
Why have we no music playing? It sounds weird. It's so quiet.
I know, so quiet.
That's better. Hi. See, yeah, that guy's quite funny. Keith Farron is his name. I've never seen him before. He's never been on the circuit. He just kind of came and went.
Keith Farron, if you're listening, get in touch.
Get in touch. We like you, man. Your stuff is funny. That whole thing of whiskey and white wine. I pulled. I'm pretty sure the vast majority of Irish people have been in that situation.
Yeah, that's why I don't collect receipts on a night out. Like, I just say, seeing the fucking empty bank the next morning is enough damage.
What's the most you'd spend on a night out?
Ah, Jesus, no, I'm not getting into that in public.
Go on, a mental night out.
€50 for a bag of weed and 50 for drink and taxi money home. €50 for a bag of weed, 50 quid for like drink and shit, and then keep tenner aside for your taxi home. Well, that's what I do.
Yeah, no, that's reasonable, like, yeah.
It works out every time.
I've seen people going out and spending €500-600.
Yeah, it can be done, like.
What?
Yeah.
Spent a lot of money on a
Get a car for that, man.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, just mind that thing just keeps going click, 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 click.
Sorry.
Yeah. Just, you can bring it in closer, just, there we go. Here we go. That's much better.
It'll be interesting, like, if you guys got a stand-up comedian on the show instead of like just the musicians.
We were considering all of our options, and one of those options was to bring on people with other talents.
Yeah.
You're not like Britain's Got Talent. We don't bring on fucking trick ponies or any of that shit.
Yeah.
We just bring people on who are good at whatever it is that they do. You know, which could be sleight of hand.
I have to reach out to the lad I was going to say. I said I'd reach out to. I have to do that yet.
Did you tell me about this?
I did.
You did?
You might have been asleep.
Was I? Okay.
You were being a bit mysterious.
Was I?
Good one.
Bump. Any messages or comments coming in there, Miss Quinlan?
No, not yet. No, that's it.
Oh, wait.
This is the last one. What up?
08527272212. Text or WhatsApp, and please share, like, subscribe, do all the normal things. Please get the word out there. And I know the room is very low energy tonight because
we're all fucking geared up for the fight.
We're
we
all
are.
tired too.
I think
An elephant in the room, like.
There is a fucking elephant in the room. There's that fucking noise again.
Wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
So yeah, there's an elephant in the room. Will we just start tearing into this fucking thing?
No,
Should
because we're
we?
going to have to go to a break, and then we're going to have to want to say so much on the break, and then when we come back, it'll just be all like,
Okay, fair call, mate.
you know,
Fair call.
yeah.
Yeah, I think we should lighten it up a little bit more. Hence the reason why I wanted to play a bit of comedy, just talk about stupid
Okay,
things that we
what-
did when we
did you
were
do
kids.
anything interesting during the week then?
Yes.
I
We got
tuned
Aiden's story.
as I said, I put wind deflectors on my car, and that
You
was
did.
the first great
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
And then I kind of trailed off before I got to the second one, so I'm going to go back to that.
Sure.
I had 2 dinners today.
You legend. What did you have?
I had chicken a la king in work because it was deadly.
Or did someone make it? Like,
Oh yeah, we have a canteen. Like we have a
Nice.
canteen. Like I'm still on site. I've been on site the whole time. Like we're all really, really, really careful.
Fair play, yeah.
Majority of the site is working from home, but just with my job, I have to be in on site.
Yeah.
And we have a canteen that's really good, and it's all subsidised as well. So it's like $4.40 for a dinner.
wow.
Oh, savage.
What
That's decent.
type of...
$4.40.
$4.40 for like a plate of food.
Yeah,
like
that's
right.
like a fiver, man.
No, it's grand. Like
Happy days. Happy.
What type of pretentious prick calls a dish
Richie
Chicken
just
a la
said,
king.
chicken a la king?
it's a classic.
Hello.
It's like beef stroganoff. It's a classic.
Richie said.
2 dinners. Legend.
But do you not think it's pretentious?
No.
A la king?
Hey man, I lived well. I ate it well.
Yeah, but it's what is chicken a la king?
It's like chicken in like a creamy white sauce.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Sounds bland.
No, it's
Do
delicious.
you have with
It's
vol au
really
vents and
good.
rice? Or like,
No, just rice. Just rice. They
Oh.
no vol au vents. They're cheap like.
So is it like
no, there's $4.40. Like.
is it like vol au vent? Does it taste like that? Is it that
it wouldn't be.
garlicky?
It wouldn't be a million miles away from vol au vent chicken, really.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of
Again, vol au vent.
What the fuck is
Pretentious.
Volivant?
Nah, it's
Just
French.
a pastry cake.
Vol au
You
vent.
don't know what a vol au vent is?
No idea.
It's just a
Oh,
pastry
you need a vol au
cake.
vent, JJ. Meg.
Just bear with me 2 seconds.
I know
If
my
you-
food, man. It's
if
a
you-
pastry
but like,
cake.
no, no,
Sorry,
if you're
I'm out with a vol au vent.
if you're going to describe pastries, please at least when you're using your hand motion, stop going. They're pastries.
Why,
This is
she's
what
just-
you were sitting
She's
here
just,
doing.
she's just getting the top off them, so she's cutting them out and she's popping the top off.
What?
Yeah. Oh,
They're
man.
pastries.
I don't know what the fuck I'm at, man.
Watch it back later. You're doing this, and I'm
Oh
like,
shit! I don't want to watch
Yeah,
it.
they're like scones that lost
Maybe-
their head. Like
Maybe
had
she's
to-
just very excited by pastry.
if you had to,
know, like
if you had to mime pastry, what would the mime be? It's,
depends on the pastry. Is it a croissant? Is it a plan au chocolat?
it's,
Is it what?
a vol au vent.
Oh, vol
There's zero hand gesture. I suppose that's why you resorted
Well, like
to.
you might be crushing in the top.
I'm thinking flaky, like just
See, now
Yeah.
that would have been better. Instead of
rolling a joint. Oh, man.
yes. But sorry, I shouldn't have called you out on that, should I? No, so
But yeah, anyways, that was my first dinner.
Call this
Right
out.
now, my second dinner was actually a little bit better. I
Homemade?
had beef with broccoli and a black bean sauce with some fried rice.
that sounds
Yeah.
actually, it's one of the only really one ways that I can eat beef is with black bean sauce. Hate beef.
Man, beef
What?
between Yorkshire pudding and gravy, make a sandwich.
Oh,
out of it.
stop! A Yorkshire
No.
pudding sandwich.
Yes, man.
That's
Have you-
actually my ambition for 2021 is to have one of them.
Have you ever just eaten beef that is just fried?
I've eaten
Oh,
beef that's just
no.
fried. I've eaten beef that's just roast. I've eaten beef that's practically raw. I've eaten beef.
There's a weird taste off it.
No, it tastes
hold
like
on,
beef.
like, what do you mean?
if
Just
you were to get-
You mean a
fried?
roast
Like,
beef now?
Let's say you were to
You're
get
talking about a steak fried.
No,
is
let's
what
say
I'm
you were
hearing.
getting-
You're talking about a burger fried. Like, what type
no.
of
Let's
beef
say
are you talking about fried?
you get mince beef.
Yeah.
Fried on a pan.
Yeah.
No salt, no flavoring, no nothing. Would you eat it?
No,
that's-
it's just
but
a dead animal,
well,
man.
what's the
No,
point,
but like
man?
that's the shittest part of the beef. Is put into the mince.
Okay, even if you get the posh part of the mince, which you can
If
get.
you get like steak mince, you're talking about
steak mince, yeah. You fry it on the pan, it does a weird
because you
taste off
fucked it up by chopping it up so much. No, you fucked
Mince
it up.
is
Like.
already
Not just
grand.
that, man. Like, look, if you're not gonna spice it up, it's gonna be bland as fuck.
But even
Yeah.
when
So you have to like fucking. But
When you
goes
cook
for
it.
the same thing with chicken, man. Like or anything fucking else, you have to add your spices. Otherwise,
when you're cooking beef, there is a smell.
Yeah, the
There's
beef
a very
smell.
unique
smell of beef.
beef,
You're frying flesh, man.
which I'm exactly, and
Like-
I do be going. "Ugh."
Yeah, same. I'm a bit
So that's
weird
why I
with-
try not to
No.
cook because I can't stand touching dead stuff.
no, but I bet
Then
you like cook
learn some-
lazy. Like I've seen you fucking make stuff. You like. You
Like?
don't put any effort in. Oh fuck, I don't know.
You
like,
don't put any.
This is the story of his life.
Like you just like fucking really eat it exactly, or just go run over to the shop and get something to fucking eat.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
you lazy cunt.
Yeah,
So-
microwave. Look, I'm
So you're
okay.
gonna fuck anything up if you put it in the microwave. Like even reheating can be a bit dodgy with a
True,
bad dish.
yeah,
like.
yeah.
I don't mind as long as I don't have to cook it or see it raw or smell it. If I open up raw chicken breasts, and
You
I
don't
get,
like the process of
if
it.
I get the smell of that raw chicken breast, I will not eat that dish.
Yeah.
Rub some Vaseline
enough.
under your nose first.
Or just Hitler myself. You know what a Hitler is, don't you?
Yeah.
Do you know what a
Take
Hitler
that
is?
finger in up on that shelf.
Yeah, I know.
Funny story. Jesus, can't even
Here we
remember
go.
his name. But it was a long time ago, about 15, 20 years ago. Yeah, maybe 20 years ago. I was driving to Athlone, and I was a passenger in the car behind the driver. And there was a guy in the front, Paul was his name, Paul Claff. He was sitting in the front of the car, and Paddy Broder was sitting beside him. And Paddy said to me beforehand, while he's driving, give him a Hitler. So I said, right, and for like 5 minutes of the journey, I'm having a good old root around up in the anus. Like, I'm knuckle deep in there. I'm going to town on this one.
First, second, or third?
Second. So, I pulled out the finger, I grabbed his head, leaned it against the headrest, and wiped it under his nose.
Oh, I would have put you straight into a wall.
He had a bit of a moustache as well.
Fuck.
How do you wipe that? He slammed on the brakes, and as he slammed on the brakes, the vomit came up, and because the motion of the car as well, it's
just
like everywhere. And he jumped out of the car, and every time he would puke out, he would be out of breath. So he'd have to breathe in deep. But he was breathing in through his nose.
Oh my god.
So every time he'd breathe in through his nose, it started the cycle of puke all over again. This went on for about 10 minutes.
Oh god. Talk about supernatural dog shit.
Absolute bliss.
But it was funny. It was funny, like I said.
You must have been absolutely bursting your hole at that.
Comment from Teresa. I've lost audio here on Facebook. Most likely it's my phone. I switched to YouTube and WhatsApp or
What's up?
yeah, but she said WhatsApp. Like what's
No,
up?
we have audio. We're all good.
All right, David Giblin is here. Shout out to David. And she said definitely my phone. So yeah, I think she's just having faults on her end, man.
Teresa, we'll send you over the new iPhone X. We won't.
You
we
will in
won't.
your arse.
We won't.
You're not that nice.
Actually, we do have 2 phones we could give away, but they're not.
do.
We could give them away.
Put it in a raffle, man.
Raffle.
Make a raffle.
Yeah,
Make the podcast more fun.
random name generator, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
if
but
you comment in on a show, you get named to the raffle.
Yeah, but they're not great phones. It's not like you're giving away a Samsung.
Phones
or
are phone, man. If it does A and B, sure look.
Actually, it actually doesn't look too bad of a phone.
Show it off there. It's an old iPhone there, you guys.
No.
Oh, not that one. Oh.
Fucking mad. That's what I said. This is a shit.
Yeah, I
phone.
know. You're not that nice. I know.
I'm not that nice.
If you brought them to the shop, would you get enough for a T-shirt, and then you could give away a T-shirt?
So that's the phone there. Have a look. There's
Alright.
there's like 3 more of them brand new boxes there.
It has, I don't know what the fuck this is.
It comes with a cover. That's all I know. It's Android.
Is it a clear cover? I'm just looking to see.
Wait
if that,
now. Why do you
think
have
so.
so many phones, though?
It's a long story.
I'm not
You
breaking it.
robbed them. Oh,
No.
yeah. I know you.
No, would never thieve in my life again.
They look
So
very
it's
vintage.
designed by Blackview, assembled in China. Oh, they're robbing off the iPhone thing there.
It's a replica, like.
But you turn the phone on, it's not bad. It does what it's supposed to
Can
do.
I get the Play Store?
Yes.
Then it's better than Huawei.
Yeah, there you go. It's not a bad phone. So we might do a raffle, but not tonight.
Fair enough, yeah.
We will
Think about it. Come up with a format.
and not even a raffle, a competition. We can't do the head-to-head with Ed because Ed is no longer here, the asshole.
Then we can do something.
We could do some sort of other competition. We could.
We'll talk after the show. I got a few ideas anyway. So.
Okay, we could do something. Or
Like
people
a trivia or something like that. You know, just
Um,
like all the listeners, like whoever comments in on the trivia.
Oh, I'd love a
Yeah,
game of
like-
trivia. I love games of trivia. The only thing is, I'm terrible at it. I have vast quantities of knowledge.
What
but
about,
for
like-
some reason, when we play trivia, that you always ask questions, you're going, I have no fucking clue what you were talking about.
What about a rip-off of Deal or No Deal, but it's phone or no phone?
Ah, yeah, man. That's good. That is
Well,
good.
our listeners, 08527272212. Text in your ideas, or WhatsApp, or send them
I
in
have
via-
ideas, man.
Yeah, no, but just our listeners might have an idea, and
Yeah,
we might
true,
go,
alright.
"Hey, that's an awesome idea. We could." Then again, we were supposed to give away a big prize at the start of the year, which was €5,000. Yeah, big prize for.
That's a fucking shit
That's
price.
a big.
That's a shit big price. Sorry, I'm actually just in shock at hearing that. Like, I
But-
did not associate that level of prize with this show.
But because we're doing the big move, that's out the window now. Because that was being sponsored by my own business rather than being sponsored by somebody else. So it was me who was basically paying out the €5,000.
yeah.
So we're going to put that competition off for about another 5 or 6 months until we're in the new studio.
Cool. So 2021 big competition's coming.
Yeah. No, and I'm thinking of maybe it'll be 10,000 rather than 5,000 because there's a reason behind it. I don't mind giving away €10,000.
How many shares do you need for that?
It's not a case of so. This is yeah. So what happens is you can actually hide on YouTube your subscribers.
Right.
So
Why would you want to do that though?
there we go. Because then we start the competition and we say to people, okay, whoever is our 10,000th subscriber gets 10,000 euros.
Shit, man.
Nobody's going to know who that 10,000 subscriber is because they can't see where they are on the list.
Yeah,
It's true.
We can see.
And people can unsubscribe and resubscribe to kind of jostle the queue around a bit as long as they're sharing, liking, and listening.
And whoever's at that 10,000, we will just give them a call and say, you've won the 10,000 euro.
Yeah.
But there is a time frame for it to happen within.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking,
You're
like,
just
you know,
trying to get more
the
likes as soon as you can.
like,
Absolutely.
I'm just kind of thinking, like, there's some hardcore old listeners that deserve their chance to win, like, you know?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
why
yeah.
I was like, you know, the unsubscribe, resubscribe, you know, if they kind of see it getting big and getting
Oh,
massive.
Aiden.
Yeah, this is true. This is true.
Coming from Paddy Broder.
Good evening, Paddy.
No, Aiden, you took it upon yourself to do that, but I did fall around the place laughing. But thanks for making me laugh again tonight. Oh, the memories, love.
Me and Paddy had so much fun.
Good to know, man.
A genuine, no, we really that was in my testing days of smoking weed.
Okay.
I like we used to just drive the car out into the middle of a field and just get super high
Class.
and
Oh,
try
yeah.
and wind each other up. There was one night Paul was driving the car down this really old dirt road at like 1 mile an hour because we were so high, and I put my hand out the back window. And I leaned forward and banged on his window. And he genuinely thought the car was being fucking attacked. There was so many stupid things that we did. Oh, but good times, Paddy. You should go. We should actually have Paddy in the show. On
Bring
the
him
show.
on, sure, bring him on.
He should be. He should come on. Paddy was a really, really, really close friend of mine.
Wow.
And I only found out, Jesus, I think it was about 6 months ago, he got in touch with me and said that his father had passed on.
Sorry, Paddy.
Sorry for loss.
Yeah, I hadn't spoken to Paddy, Jesus. And Paddy must have been 10 years we hadn't spoken, and we kind of fell out of friendship, which was really
I
sad.
know,
You
there's
drift
always
apart.
that bond, man, isn't there?
Nah,
Like,
you
drift-
you're
it
like that when you meet up again. And
It was really sad that we fell out with each other because there was never a reason to fall out with
You
each
just
other.
drifted apart
Just
as
life,
it
man.
went on.
Yeah.
life
just-
gets in the way.
Yeah, and he reached out to me, and now I did say I was going to go down and visit him, but I never did. I'm so sorry.
He
Paddy.
said it
You're
was
a
unreal,
shit.
best time of my life.
Yeah, we did. Genuinely, I look back at the times that I had when I was living, even though my ex was a bitch. But we had some amazing
Fucker,
times. Me and my friends, we had a big group of friends, and we done some crazy, stupid things. But it was all in the name of fun.
Life, man, you have to have fun.
You do have to have fun. What time
What
is
is
it?
life
Oh, we're
for?
1 minute late, so we have to go to a break.
Oh, good luck.
And then get rid of the elephant out of the room. Oh, there's your fucking microphone.
My
Just.
bad.
Oh, what's that?
Oh, shit, I do.
Can
there
we
you
just
go,
go
yeah.
on break quick?
We're going to go on a break before Megan breaks everything.
So, Billy, does your social media look like a teenager's bedroom?
What? Full of Justin Bieber posters?
No, you incompetent fool. Messy and unorganized.
Yeah, it kinda does. But what can I do about it?
Oh, poor simple Billy. Why not put all your social media in one convenient place?
But gee whiz, mister, how can I do that?
With Social QR, of course. It's easy, fast, and free.
But what's social QR?
Well, Billy, I'm glad you asked. Social QR is a one-stop shop for personal and business social media users to have all your social media in one place. Easy to set up, easy to share, and fully customizable, with your own custom QR code suitable for digital and print media.
Jiminy crickets, so now it'll be as tidy as my web browser?
So don't forget, Billy, that's socialqr.xyz. And Billy, take down the Justin Bieber posters.
Aww.
Every day, Richie has to drive 2 miles to bum tobacco from his friends. With your generous donation of only $19.20 a week, Richie won't have to sponge from his friends. Text Richie to 5210342759126089 so we can finally tell Richie to piss off.
From its rich traditions beginning when the first AM radio transmission was broadcast in the year 1900 to present day, where radio is still the most listened to form of media and the number one source for people of all ages to enjoy their favorite music and discover new artists. Sure, the technology has changed, but the concept has stood the test of time throughout history. From the end of World War II,
General Eisenhower informs me that the forces of Germany have surrendered to the United Nations. The flags of freedom fly all over Europe.
To the falling of the Berlin Wall.
Our top story. The Iron Curtain between East Germany and West Berlin has come tumbling down.
To the U.S. entering the War on Terror.
None of us will ever forget this day, yet we go forward to defend freedom and all that is good and just in our world. Thank you. Good night, and God bless America.
Generations across the world are united by music as it transcends all language barriers. It brings everyone on planet Earth closer together. We at iStreamRadio.ie understand what radio has done for the world and would like to thank radio for its 100 plus years of service. Radio has been here through thick and thin. Thank you, radio.
Imagination is the beginning of creation. You imagine what you desire. You will what you imagine. And at last, we create what you will. Don't wait for the right opportunity. Let us create it. When the virtual world of the internet, ideas, dreams, and concepts have become a reality, now is the time to bring your idea to the digital world. MilestoneMedia.ie offer a full range of digital services such as web development, hosting, audio, and visual services. Inspiration has a new platform. MilestoneMedia.ie. Experience the difference.
Tired of getting more screwed over than your cousin Jesse's pig? Sick of those uppity cowboys over at the Irish Insurance Federation? Is your vehicle being overpriced because it's undervalued? Does your annual quote leave you feeling sicker than the morning you woke up beside your sister? Well, leg it down to Leggett Insurance. Leggett Insurance is the answer to all your insurance needs. Bored off the road? No problem. Old lady turf you out and you gotta move your collection of lawn art? That's okay. Underage? Well, shit, that ain't your fault. Our unique style of cover provisions includes a real insurance disc to put in your windshield and the understanding that if something goes wrong, you use our groundbreaking policy. Run as fast as you can before anyone gets your wrench. The golden rule is to make sure you pick up any bits of your car left behind so you can't be identified. Your one-off payment of $29.99 annually provides all of the above. And for an additional $40, we provide you with a full windscreen worth in your very own Leggett disc holder. Just call us on 2800 Yeehaw! That's 2800 Yeehaw! Sail through that checkpoint today! Itchy, smelly scrotum getting you down. Worried about ball sweat on the dance floor? Well, worry no more. New sandalwood and lavender scented Man Ponds has your nutsack covered. Our unique smell-inhibiting fibrous wadding ensures your most repugnant odors are kept to yourself. So next time she drops the hand, you can feel confident it's not into a vat of nut soup. And don't forget, you can be the sweetest smelling stud in the nursing home with new Man Ponds Twilight Edition for seniors. Order our economy size 86 pack today on manponds.org. Man Ponds, because you don't need to smell any worse.
The Supernatural Dogshit podcast is controversial and confrontational and may cause offense to some. Listener discretion is advised.
And you're very welcome back to the Supernatural Dogshit podcast, live for this Tuesday. It is Tuesday, isn't it, lads?
Yep. All day, man.
Tuesday all day, and now it is time to get rid of that big fat ass elephant in the room. And no, I'm not talking about JJ, I'm talking about
me.
Shots fired.
I'm gone.
And what I'm talking about is the murder, as they're calling it. I'm not calling it murder, I'm calling it the justified killing of George
Nkencho.
I'm just going to refer to him as George from now on. It'll make it life so much easier.
Everyone knows who you're speaking about anyway.
Yeah, we're not talking about George Floyd, totally different thing. We're talking about George Nkencho, who was shot during last week by the armed response unit, by the police who had arrived at a scene. So apparently what had happened was that George went out on a bit of a rampage with a knife, and hacked. People have described it as he stabbed and hacked at people. So there is one guy in Blanchardstown Hospital with wounds.
No. He's been released. He's been released from hospital.
Was in Blanchardstown Hospital. Was in Blanchardstown.
Oh, I'm gonna chip away at you,
Yeah,
boy.
no, that's fine. There was a guy who suffered at the hands of Mr. Nkencho.
He was injured,
Yes.
but he was not slashed in the face.
Okay.
And I don't believe his injuries were sustained from the knife.
Okay, and what do you believe there is sustained
I
by?
saw something about that on Facebook too. Apparently that's a whole different accident to a whole different time period that had happened. And
Oh,
then
that was
got
that whole
caught up in the whole-
2017 thing, yeah. I know there's lots of rumours going around. But give us your information. What have you got?
I've only got what's in the published press. So,
Same shit as me.
So
I wasn't there myself. So, but basically that he was in Spar. He caused a commotion. Someone did need hospital treatment. And then he was followed on foot and by car
for 2 hours.
Yeah, as they tried to de-escalate the situation.
They
And-
pepper sprayed him.
And tased him.
And he would not go down.
No.
Resisting arrest, basically.
He then made his way back to his own home. As far as I'm aware, it was his own home. He let himself into the house and then came back out with what is being reported as a bigger knife.
A kitchen knife.
Yes, a kitchen knife.
Not a butter knife, not a machete.
Yes,
a kitchen
knife. So the from what the officials are saying is he lunged towards the guards with a knife, and at that point they had no option but to shoot the guy.
Well, you see, like,
I agree with the self-defense, but like I said earlier, why not shoot him in the kneecap? Why does it have to be 4 shots, you're dead kind of thing?
There's a very good reason for that. There really is a good reason for
But
that.
as well, you see, like he had knocked his some of his siblings were in the house.
Okay.
And he'd knocked on the door to go back inside, and the guards basically closed over the door, didn't shut it, but closed it over to impede his retreat effectively. Because they didn't want it devolving into a hostage situation.
Yes.
And then at that point, the fatal shooting occurred.
So what you're saying is the guards did their job.
Yeah, in a way, I do think like they did what best they could in the situation, but I still think it was a shitty outcome.
Okay, terrible outcome. Anybody's life being lost is a terrible outcome, and I don't think we can disagree with that.
The guards in Ireland don't wake up in the morning with the intention to kill.
Oh, I'm going out to kill a black man. Yeah.
No,
That
no,
doesn't
a
happen.
man, a
yeah.
man.
Yeah, but no, tonight is specifically going to be talking about racism.
Yeah, like, no, you
because
don't know, you have
it's
to-
going to be a bugbearer of mine all night, because I said to you before the show, you said to me, what is your opinion on this? And I said, I think it'll surprise you what my opinion is on the situation. So I was notified of all of this. I read through the newspaper articles. I've seen so many videos. We did have videos lined up to show you guys, but technical issues as fucking usual, so we couldn't show them. And it seems that there's a bit of a breakdown in Dublin, in the Blanchardstown area now, where there are hundreds of protesters, both black and white, but majority black, protesting outside Garda stations, and they're shouting stuff along the lines of no justice, no peace. Now, while that sounds like a wonderful, lovely, peaceful soundbite, it's not. It has really negative connotations. You have to think of it, no justice, no peace. So what they're saying is, if you don't do what we're telling you to do, we're going to fucking wreck the place.
We are a society governed by mob rule.
Yes,
we just
we
do
are.
it through a ballot box, you know? So, like, you know...
We are, but they are not in the majority. These people are not in the majority. They're in the far, far minority. And this is what the surprising opinion of mine was. I seen all of this and it angered me, because I'm thinking to myself, there was so many things that went through my head at the start of all of this. I was like, why the hell are black people saying very first thing that this is racism? Why can't it be a situation of, it was a man, doesn't matter whether he's black, had a knife, he attacked somebody, he then approached the guards to attack them, and they shot him dead. That should be the end of the story. But it's not.
But
The black community...
How come so many other knife-wielding lunatics, like, regardless of anything else, it's widely known and accepted that he had mental health issues.
Okay, yeah.
And, you know, I'm going to use the term lunatic in this sense.
Okay.
But, like, how come other people that, like, there was a lad who was topless wielding a knife at Gardaí, who was white, and he was just arrested.
Okay, well, different situations call for different levels of action. And I think the level of action that was in this particular case was appropriate and had nothing to do with colour. But unfortunately, we have the family of this man, George, now who are standing up and they're calling for action. What they're actually saying was his brother stood up on a stage
On the mic, I seen it.
and said, I want the guard, I can't, the exact words was, dead. We want him
Basically,
dead.
Yeah.
They're calling for the killing of this police officer. This is the brother.
We don't have capital punishment in this
No, we
country.
don't have capital punishment. And here's the thing, no justice, no peace. Justice takes time. Did the black people on the day who were outside of Blanchardstown Garda Station causing havoc and beating up white
During
people
a
as they
pandemic.
passed during a pandemic, but what did they think they were going to achieve on that day? Because justice takes time. If my mother or father was murdered tonight, I'm not going to get a mob and go outside the Garda Station and go, now do your job quicker.
Honest God, yeah.
It's retarded.
I remember, and it was back when I was in AIT, and it was in late September that 2 children were assaulted by a paedophile.
Okay.
And I remember I had to go up to the Garda station, I don't know, to get a form stamped or something like that. Might have been the travel card or an age card or just something anyway. And there was an angry mob outside there.
Okay, and what was that for?
Yeah.
That was because the children had, like, you know, they were in their garden as at a birthday party or something.
Okay, so but there would have been a danger. Where was the danger in this situation with George Nkencho? Where was the dangerous situation? Did they think that the guards were going to continue their killing spree and just randomly killing black people? No. What were they doing at the Garda station?
Well,
what is it that they can't? And this
No, but like
this
in a general sense, if you look at the way we are today, people have been locked down and locked out of their jobs and livelihoods for months. They've been locked out of their schools.
Not an excuse.
No, but like I'm talking about, they're really fucking bored and frustrated.
Not an excuse.
And this could be the boiling point.
Not an excuse for violence?
No, not in the slightest.
For their behaviour? Not an
excuse for wrecking the shops, like.
If I saw a video and it was a video of George and the police officer, and the police officer went, "Hey, you nigger," bang, bang, and shot him, I would go, yes.
Oh, that'd be
go
fucked
out,
up, like.
No, I would say, now, go outside the Garda station and now say what you're saying.
You'd be there yourself.
I'd be there with them.
Yeah.
But this is not that situation. This is the bit that you're probably going to surprise you on. I thought about this long and hard all week. And then I had a joint.
That makes everything better.
And through the green abyss, clarity started to come around. And I was asking myself, so we're all at this moment in time, we're all arguing about what happened. But there's nobody arguing of the why it happened.
Oh no, I'm very much on the why.
Can you do me a favour, Meg? Can you just tip your mic? I think I'm hearing your mic do something weird there.
How about that?
There we go.
Is that better? Yeah.
Yeah, much
it's
better.
gone. Yeah, I was wondering.
Much better.
Shit, sorry.
My
bad.
So, the way I'm looking at it now is, I've seen all these people and they're getting really angry. They are either one of the above. They are either lying to themselves and doing this for the fun of it, because the evidence in this story is as obvious as the day is long. It's an archetypal truth. You can't get it is exactly what it says on the tin. Occam's razor. It's obvious to everybody what happened.
But then where was the mental health worker brought in? Like, why wasn't the mental health worker working on any of that 2 hour
You cannot
walk?
bring a mental health worker into a hostage a situation where they could become a hostage. That would be so stupid. You need armed response. You don't need hugs and kisses. You need armed responses. He hurt a man. He injured somebody. He is the bad guy in this situation.
What about tranquilizer darts?
Okay, we haven't got them in this country.
Yes, we do. They're in Dublin Zoo.
Okay, in Dublin Zoo.
I'm just talking about they're nearby.
Lads, can you give me those tranquilizers?
Vets would have them. Fucking lots of other teams would have them.
Amazing idea, but that's not what transpired, and so there's no point in doing the whataboutery.
The whole point is the whataboutery. Like, we're trying to see what other potential situations could have happened.
I'd say, as I just said, we're discussing the what instead of the why. So what I'm trying to figure out now is, I'm trying to put myself in a position where I'm removing race. I'm removing my race from the situation.
Well, we have to look at the unconscious bias within those Gardaí as well, and if there is some issue that awareness training or something else.
And I have to check my own unconscious bias as well. And this is what I've been trying to do. So with this argument, the way I'm looking at it is, I would love to have a black person, a well-spoken black person, not some...
No, they can speak whatever way they want.
Not some numpty who's was just going to shout and scream at me.
No. What I mean by like, you don't need an Uncle Tom.
I need somebody on the opposite side, but who is respectful enough to have a conversation with.
Yeah,
because
Malcolm X.
I want to ask. Yes, exactly. But I want to ask them questions, and the questions I want to ask is, are you doing? Is this a? Do you think it's at the point where this is a biological response to fear when a black man is shot by a white man, that it's so ingrained in their evolution at this stage that the white man was the enemy? Is there something physically going on within black people that they don't trust white people? Is that
you
what
could
happening?
say it's slightly justified, like in some ways, you know?
Or is it a case where...
Although we've no history of direct oppression within our culture, that...
We do.
We know that we don't. We don't have any direct history of oppression in our culture. Do you know what I mean? Like that.
No, not in our culture, but we had the direct oppression foisted upon us.
No, like, you know, we were like, we were colonized.
We were the slaves.
Yeah. Well,
no. We were slaves, indentured servants. Slaves, indentured servants, exact same thing. Exact same thing. Did you know that an Irish man's life was worth less than a black man's life during the slave trade?
Stop.
I've heard all this. I've heard this, and we are getting on a complete distraction from what we're talking about.
No, we're not. What I tell you why we're not.
No. We are getting on an absolute distraction.
I'll tell you why we're not. Right? Because we share a similar history with black people, and black people should understand to a certain extent. Exactly. We've suffered things that they never suffered, and vice versa. There was a goddamn ship that went out to sea and threw 1,000 Irish people into the sea just to kill them all. The British did.
Every Irish person in America knows they're from Ireland.
Okay.
African Americans in America don't know what country they came from.
Okay. So they
were stripped of their culture and heritage.
So what are we going to do? Are we going to play?
No. But we're going to.
Is it a dick measuring competition now?
Well, we'd lose that every day of the week.
No, but I'm saying, in the metaphysical sense, we can't make it into a dick measuring competition that what we suffered versus what they suffered. Yeah. My point is, we had a similar history with these people.
But we can get back to where you got off on this little tangent.
Which was?
That although we were never the oppressors, as a country, we were never the oppressors, but we can still be seen in that light due to the complexion of our skin.
Yes, exactly. So therefore, that is racist. It is the definition of racist.
Yeah.
If I choose not to get into a taxi, the first taxi man in the taxi rank is black, I choose not to get into his taxi purely because he's black. If I choose purely because he's black and I choose the white man, that is a racist action. True or false?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So what 100%. You just explained as well is equally racist. Racism is on both sides of the spectrum. Black people can be racist to white people as well. And
apparently not. The internet will argue with that one, but I agree with you.
I thank you very much, because there's no arguing with it. You cannot argue against. There was a mentally retarded child. He was maybe 14, 15 years of age, and a bunch of black kids in and around the same age dragged him into an abandoned building, and they started to do a live video of him. They tortured him, they scalped him, they cut off his scalp.
Where was this?
Over in America. And they were screaming that he was white cracker scum and fuck Donald Trump, and this is for you, Trump, white scum, white scum.
Well, this is fairly recent, like.
No. This is about 4 years ago.
Yeah, but it was in his presidency, like.
Yeah. But what happened was, Black Lives Matter jumped on board and said, these children are oppressed. They're just acting out on their oppressors. Their oppressor's a handicapped kid. Black Lives Matter said that they were not racist towards this child.
But they'll argue in America that you can only be racist when you're acting from a place of power.
Exactly, and those 4 kids were in a place of power.
No, they'll argue that because
in the overall scale of things. I get that.
Can I say something? Racism is taught. Can you remember being in, say, like primary school or whatever, and you're with mixed kids, but you never thought anything of it. Mm-hmm. But you were at some stage.
That's true. Hate is taught. Like.
Yeah, it's taught. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. We have comments as well.
Please.
So you have to get to it because Ken sent in. This is what I want to show you. Ken Walsh is after sending in a group chat about the BLM.
Oh, I'll have a look at it.
Do you want to read it?
I'll have a look at it in a bit.
Okay.
One of the things, I was watching a show not too long ago, and Niall Boylan was on the show. It was like one of those late TV shows, and there was a black woman on it, and she started doing the whole chip on her shoulder thing, which I detest.
So do I.
I can't understand why. This is the bit that's confusing me so much. Why they're carrying this chip on their shoulder when clearly in this day and age they have it so much better than they ever had in their past history.
It doesn't mean they have it perfect.
No, and neither do we.
Do you know what I mean?
No,
I know that.
But neither do we. We don't
you
have a perfect either.
You can't say that because people have come from a place of being like.
It's a healing process.
Yeah.
But how much time?
How
man?
much time?
How much
Exactly.
fucking time? Like.
And the thing that I was asking,
I guess some of them could be literally angry, like I'm thinking of like they know like family members, like
oh, my
maybe
grandmother or my great grandmother,
exactly that were brilliant people. Now they might have been fantastic cooks, extremely smart, inventive, and whatever else, and they can see that they never had the opportunity because of the way society was and whatever.
But are black people stupid?
No,
exactly.
Of course not.
Exactly, that's my point. They're not stupid. So how can they not understand that the sins of the father cannot be placed on the child? Everybody knows
that's 100% true.
And it is our fathers who were racist, and it's our fathers who were hanging them from trees and lynching them on streets. It was these people.
Not ours.
No, the Americans.
I'm sorry, but
white ancestry.
I'm very much separating cultures here
I know
because
that.
there's a vast difference.
I know
in
that.
history.
I understand that. But my point is, we didn't commit those sins.
Not in the slightest.
Not in the slightest. And we, as a society, we are so
So apparently,
tolerant.
the lynch mob thing came from Galway.
No way.
Which?
Apparently, the lynch mob thing came from Galway.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You know, like, you ever hear of a lynch mob?
Yeah.
That actually came from Galway City.
Really?
Yeah. Apparently, there was like a judge who condemned his son to death, except
his own son.
Oh yeah, his own son. I can't remember the.
Don't worry, it's fine.
Yeah, I was half drunk. But basically, like, you know, it's kind of a case like, if you do this, you will definitely get death. And then someone went off and fucking did it anyway.
So he did it.
So yeah, and there's like an old church window, and apparently that's where he was hung, and that's where the name the lynch mob came from.
Oh, right. Very good. Did you know?
Yeah, you learn something new every day. Yeah.
Well, Niall Boylan was on the show anyway, and this woman, she turned around to Niall and she said, "You're a racist. You are." I'm going to do the accent. I couldn't give a fuck. They said, "You're a racist. You white privilege." And I literally stood up out of my chair, and I wanted to use a racial epithet to describe her because that's how she was describing one of my people, when that's not what he was doing.
You're very protective of him. He's a good lad.
No, I tell you, he wasn't. She said white privilege, and I'm thinking, you ignorant fucking arsehole, grow the fuck up. White privilege exists. Yes, it does in America.
It exists here as well.
No.
Man,
Wait, bear with me.
If you look at the ballot for the fucking doll,
let's
understand
what white privilege means first. What does white privilege mean?
What does it mean to you?
It's not what it means to us. It's not about our individual interpretation of it. It should be about a general interpretation
it means
of
that
it.
as a society, you're more likely to see a white man leading it than pretty much anything else.
Leo Varadkar. I won't even go there. I won't even fucking go there. We're a very tolerant country. Very tolerant country.
For a start, he wasn't actually elected
leader
he wasn't.
Of the country. No, he wasn't.
No,
but he has his farms.
Yeah, but like, that was an internal thing within the apparatus. Do you know? Whereas, like, traditionally, if you look at Ireland and who's voted to lead it, it's predominantly men and it's predominantly white men.
Okay, in the more egalitarian societies, that will remain the same way. LEDs are falling down again. But the white privilege thing. So
I think everyone has something to give. It just depends on if they're good enough at keeping their own shit together.
In egalitarian societies, where people have been left to their own devices, women naturally gravitate to what they used to gravitate to, and men done the exact same thing.
So they avoid the stress.
So they just naturally gravitate. Women decided, well, we're going to do nursing. We're going to become teachers. Men became engineers and doctors and so on and so forth. They naturally gravitated. Once we took out the restrictions and said, do what you want to do, no pressure, you make up your own choices, they naturally gravitated back to their gender normative roles.
That could also be associated with the fact that they no longer had to prove anything. That they no longer had to kind of strive to be accepted as full members of that society.
I agree, but let's get on to the white privilege thing.
Right.
Right. What white privilege is when a country is built by other people. So, in other words, black people. America was built by the Irish and the blacks.
Yeah.
It's very simple. And white people have privileged off of the backs and the hard work and labour that these slaves put in.
Absolutely.
Right. So that is white privilege right there. Somebody gaining leverage because of their colour of their skin. That's white privilege. In Ireland wasn't not built by slaves. It wasn't built by black people. We didn't see a black person. We built Ireland for Ireland. We done it off our own backs. We done it ourselves. So how can white privilege exist in a country where there was never black people in the first place?
Is it a case of cultural imperialism?
No, it's not.
No. As in, like, is the use of the term and the view of it within Irish society to do with the cultural imperialism from America?
Yes, you're 100. That's where I'm following with this. I think what's happening is that younger black people who genuinely, you're looking at them and you're going, you're in your Nike tracksuit bottoms and your Nike fucking runners or trainers
head
or
to toe, nice,
head to
man.
toe.
Well,
Really.
to be fair, like, it'd be the Polish lads and all that been yelling at us.
Yeah, but this is
And
true.
the English in their Levi's.
But I'm not pointing out their style because it's a stereotypical style that a black man wears. I'm pointing it out because it costs money to put that type of stuff on you.
Oh yeah.
So it's not like they're economically underprivileged in any way. And they're coming on there and they're going.
It's not fucking Gucci, man.
But they're coming on and they're going, our suffering, what the fuck did you suffer, you lying little asshole? Your mother probably, your father probably, your father's father probably, but you, no. Maybe some asshole at a bus stop called you a black bastard. Maybe somebody said something derogatory to you. But
Maybe you didn't get that job.
I've been called a black.
Maybe you didn't get that job. Do you know what I mean? Like, what about all these other little ways?
But here's the thing. Because I have so many Pakistani friends, they're like stray cats. They just don't leave you alone. You feed one and they just keep coming around to you.
Man, you must cook a good dinner. So I thought you didn't entertain those spices or flavors.
No, I do. I love I love Indian food. You mad? Love Indian food. But the point being is, I can see cultural differences amongst people, and one of the biggest cultural differences. Your mic is doing that thing again.
Yeah.
Just
give it a shake.
Just the
Why
wire.
do I always get the dodgy shit, man?
Just the wire itself. Move the wire at the back.
There.
There we go.
Good man, JJ.
Thanks,
JJ.
Thank you.
Good man. So, all about the white privileges. The point of it is, we can't. A black person cannot say to me that I have white privilege in this country because, first of all, they were never slaves brought into this country. They came here voluntarily.
You were only just like
they came
head
here,
of the fucking Chamber of Commerce, like.
I know, but they came here voluntarily. Yes or no?
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So they weren't sold on the black market. They were not slaves. They came here voluntarily, and then they come over here and they bring this chip on their shoulder that they should realise, and I'm saying this to every black person who may be listening or who in the future will be listening, is we Irish, we are your brothers and sisters. It's very simple. Our colour may be different, but our conscience doesn't have a colour.
But yeah, indirect provision, like.
Oh, and direct provision. I'm all against direct provision is an absolute nightmare and another show. It is absolutely another show. But I do think that direct provision in its current state isn't doing a bang up job, but it's doing enough of a job to get people through really difficult times that they're suffering at the moment. Syrians, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But so back to the black people in Ireland. Please, I implore you, stop with the violence. Stop with the protesting.
No, stop with that.
Stop trying to blame something and pinpoint a problem that does not exist. That problem in this case does not exist. Can we agree?
Yeah, it's a once-off. Like.
Gardaí don't wake up to kill.
They don't.
Yeah.
They absolutely don't wake up to kill.
I think people in other countries do, like in America, and that there's definitely some cops that just didn't get in the army and still want to take a life. I don't think we have that here.
Look, man, like my perspective on the whole thing is like, again, sure, the guys are definitely outraged, because his brother got killed, and who wouldn't be? I think the whole the way that they're approaching it really takes me back home, where they literally fucking protest every single day. If there's,
so it's a fallacy. It's a lie.
The whole thing is, man. they protest for anything, you know, if they don't get the way, there's not enough free housing, there's not free this, there's not free that, and they just fucking protest and burn. Like, oh, there's no free schooling, so what we're going to do, let's burn down a university. You know, let's burn down a library. You know, there's no fucking logic. It's more like, let's just fucking
kick up a fuss.
Exactly.
I'm going to say it out straight.
The thing is, like, it happened in fucking Rhodesia, which is Zimbabwe now. They kicked all the white people out. I saw fucking someone shared a thing on Facebook, and you know the guy's like, yeah, fuck, give us land, give us fucking, you know, it's all about just give us. Now I've lived through where land's been not just given but actually forcefully fucking taken, and they've done fuck all but destroy whatever land was given. And it's you know,
to be fair, that land wasn't really given in the first place, though.
No, it's taken.
Just
fucking forcefully taken. So
a long time ago, and there's nothing, again, the sins of the father can't be cast onto the sins of the son.
A fucking society is allowed to self-govern, like, you know what I mean?
Yes, they are. Of course, they're allowed to
self-govern. It's a shit situation for all involved,
but
because
I'm going to say it out straight here and now, and I'm not going to hold my punches in saying it. This is directly directed at black people. What I'm saying is you are misreading this particular situation. Maybe there has been racism in Ireland that I haven't seen and that you're 100% correct about, but in this circumstance, this was a justified killing of somebody who was a danger to themselves and to the public. The guards did what they had to do, and the guards have a fucking tough job.
Definitely.
And I don't want to be the guy that has to be standing there with a gun making the decision to take a man's fucking life to protect the rest of the people. And now they're calling for the death of this man who helped people. So we're supposed to punish the heroes and put the fucking villains up on a pillar.
Fuck that, doesn't make any fucking logical sense.
Think of how different it'd be if it's just a plain old Irish white guy.
There wouldn't have been a story.
There wouldn't be a story. It'll just be common news.
No. It makes the news. You know yourself.
It will make the news. It will.
Yeah.
It's
a newsworthy item when the Gardaí kill. Like, it's without question.
Well, did you see the riots running through Blanchardstown Shopping Centre?
Yeah,
I did. Yeah.
Like
no need for it, man. And peaceful protesting, my ears.
If this was a case of true racism, I would be out supporting them. And so this is why I'm going back to, can somebody please tell me what's going on in their head? Are they out straight lying? Are they denying? Is it biology?
They're shocked.
What are they frustrated at? In this country, what are they
burning
frustrated
shit and fucking pillaging and stuff is not going to fix fuck all, man.
No, not in the slightest. It's not in the slightest. But I'm just saying, like, as a society,
dip
as
into
a
the
whole,
frustration. What are they frustrated with?
Everything right now.
Like,
Like, no, but like,
kids?
no. Like, all of Ireland is fairly fucking. All the world is fairly frustrated with lockdowns, with pandemic.
Don't take it out on us.
No, but I'm just saying this could be part of the fucking background workings. Do you know that everyone's just and they're seeing something and they're pissed off and they're like, fuck this, we're just.
No, I think they saw the whole fucking George Floyd thing. Fucking what a big fucking kick up it was, and it seems like they're pushing for the exact same result. Yeah. Well, but just in America and stuff, there's a lot more fucking black people than there is in Ireland. So I'm not sure if there will be that big of an uproar, but still, like, fucking breaking
Breonna
shit.
Taylor was a much worse murder.
Yeah.
Accidental.
You know, it doesn't matter. Like,
It was
asleep in
accidental.
her own fucking
It
bed.
was accidental. We cannot refute the facts. It was still accidental. And it shouldn't be a story about racism again. But here it is. We bring up names like Breonna Taylor and make it into a racist story when there's no racial connotations behind Breonna Taylor's story whatsoever. None. And this is what's happening. We're bringing up these and we're making them into problems, and there isn't actually a problem.
Exactly. There's definitely a problem with racism in America.
In America, yes, but I say to our black Irish brothers and sisters who are out there, you truly are our family. I genuinely mean this.
Absolutely.
I have no racial bone in my body whatsoever. This is why I'm saying to you, please stop. Stop being assholes. Stop wrecking the place where when we invited you into the country and we didn't take you as slaves, treat it with a bit of goddamn respect. Because what's going to happen is, if they continue on behaving the way they're behaving, Irish people will become racist.
Exactly.
Oh no, like, if stuff keeps getting broken up and fucking roads are blockaded and all this, like, absolutely, people get sick of that shit real quick.
Well, we do have a caller coming on now in 2 seconds, so fill up a bit of time there. Go on, you guys have a shout now.
Well, I read out the comment from Ken
Way to
there.
cut the balls off
Yeah,
that
go ahead.
conversation.
It's in the picture message now. It's a group chat. this is what I can make out of it. Time to take over this city. Fuck these Irish bastards. They will never answer to us. Run this place, not them. I can get a shotgun. One of the lads we used, they robbed the bank or post office or something. We will need lots of cash to fund this.
That's a fucking sock.
Just listen to this. We will need lots of cash to fund this war, lads. I'm serious. Time to get real push. This laughing stock of a government out there to bring our own skin before they try something. Garda are out of sight. My gaff all morning. Lads searching people, so be careful when you have a blade on you. Then the reply was, I got face masks, glove, and a load of blades. Lads, ask Jenny to drop that bit of wheat, bro.
I missed the vast majority of that.
That
was a bit confusing, but just before we continue on...
the whole thing reads as nonsense, by the way. I think that's a fake fucking message.
Can we just... can we stop 2 seconds? Can we just all say...
It was a lad named Cormac and Tig on about a shotgun and robbing banks. I believe it quicker.
Lads. Hello, Richie.
Hello, boys and girls.
On the
Richie.
How are you this evening?
Very, very busy, beautiful.
Okay, so have you been listening?
I have been listening, and you were calling out to your black brothers and sisters there.
Yes, and are you getting annoyed, or are you in agree? Do you
Getting
agree?
annoyed.
Okay, come on. We need your opinion on this, your input. Come on.
Right, well, you're talking about your black brothers and sisters there, they're brothers and sisters and all, but it's just the way you're going on. It's I wouldn't call in Ireland. They're not like brothers and sisters the way they are in America.
Why?
What?
Why are they not our brothers
Completely
and sisters?
different mixing of cultures and races.
Okay, so we can agree that there's a difference between culture. We can agree that there's a difference between race, but your conscience and your personality doesn't have a colour. We are all just people.
Yes.
Yes, definitely. Basic kind of general principles of humanity. Yeah.
Exactly. So, and I'm so confused now because I genuinely don't know what black people are playing at. I have no idea what the motivation behind this is, if it's nefarious or if it's a fight or flight response. That's
an act of boredom even.
I don't know what it is. Where do you think it's coming from?
You know what it is? Listening to you all there tonight, right? I'll definitely say Pierce probably has the nail on the head. The fact that there's a lockdown going on and this shit happened, and the George Floyd thing. I think it's just a combination of people who are bored and outraged and have no real kind of decency. And it's nothing to do with skin colour. It's just that these people weren't nice people. If someone dies and you publicly call out for the murder of a Garda, you're a scumbag.
Which is a prosecutable action because it was a call to action. And I'm surprised that the guards have not arrested this man yet.
They obviously don't want to inflame the situation any further. None of them are.
But the law needs to be upheld.
I know, but
the law needs to be upheld, regardless whether they don't want to inflame the situation. I don't want to inflame a murder situation, but we still have to uphold the law.
I'll tell you what, right?
They can use their discretion as well.
Can I talk for a few minutes?
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Right. Just let me talk, and I want to address everybody that's there. So, Johandre, Megan, Pierce, Aiden. Out of all this thing, when everybody looked at all those videos of the riot and going on in Blanchardstown and all the trouble, you could still see that there were isolated events with the same types and groups of people, right? So there was a large presence gathered because of social media enraging people, and it's the same story with any of this thing. It's all social media outrage spilling out onto the streets, and this time they're just using the race card. It could be something else the next time. It's just one of these unfortunate things, and the guards need to be commended, patted on the back, dealing with a threat. Look, no matter what way you could have done it, you weren't the guard there on the day. That was somebody who had to make a decision they were going to live with the rest of their life, and they took another guy's life. So you have to give props to the Gardaí for being on the front line every single fucking day, keeping everybody fucking safe. And for these people to call out for misdeeds done against the Gardaí, I think they should be brought in and questioned and cautioned, because regardless of what happened to them, they still have to remember they're within a society, and just because how they feel shouldn't affect the rest of society. At the time he felt whatever happened with him with that knife in that shop, he aroused suspicions. He didn't engage properly with the police, and his life was lost. That was the only thing. So I think that's the height of it. I don't think there's any real race tension in Ireland at the minute.
But I think what's happening is, you're saying there's not any real race tension. I feel the tension now building up on the behalf of white people because of what they're seeing.
Yes, and it's shocking, but we have to remember it's what we're seeing. You have to remember what you see in front of you and what these people are at, and it's up to the Gardaí to sort them out. Yeah, but unfortunately it seems to be that these guys are being given carte blanche because of the colour of their skin, that they can go in and wreck a place, or they can
make threats in a public place to a guard, a member of the Gardaí Síochána, and get away with it. It seems that nobody is policing these people whatsoever.
Well, the thing is, the kind of events that unfolded, the Gardaí weren't prepared to deal with. Like, they've no intel really on the black community in Ireland and what goes on with them. So, you know, if they were caught off guard with this whole fucking thing, and people learn from their mistakes. I just want everybody to it's not about skin colour. And the people who made it about skin colour were just ignorant. And their ignorance was being projected to gain media interest and likes. And it's the currency of people watching and listening to your bullshit. But look, that's my 2 cents on it. Because I was listening to the whole lot. I want to shout to Pierce for his 2 dinners. Fucking legend. Even Mrs. Laughed their asses off. You fucking legend. I have 2 dinners, Fox there. Yep, shout out to Megs and Johandra.
Shout out, Richie.
Have a good one, guys.
Oh, we're doing good. How are you, man? How are you getting on with the rooms?
Flying it. Just get out my fucking feet, Johandra.
Yeah, he's
getting. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave you to it.
Yeah, he's taking over for you, Richie. He has the bald head, so yeah, he's now he's now number 1.
Yeah.
Just don't have the topics.
I'll chat to you soon.
Right, go on, brother. Chat to you later, man. Take care. Bye. Bye.
Love you.
And that was Richie, Mr. Richard Quinlan, our regular host, who is now being replaced momentarily by
just for
JJ.
today, you guys. Just for today.
Yeah. So, what do you think? What Richie said? Do you think he's bang
spot
on?
He's always spot on about everything. I love his insight because he has the greatest insight there is. Not just saying that because he's my bro, but he's literally usually always right about this stuff.
I just wish that somebody could tackle the boy.
Well, like, we have to look as well. Look, he was shot 4 times according to the autopsy. Now I know the family want to have a second independent autopsy done. No, look, they're grieving.
That's a sign of distrust. They're automatically, their default switch is to distrust white people.
No, they're just trusting. It's just a system at the moment. But regardless, we have an autopsy result, and there was 2 shots to the arm and 2 shots to the chest.
Mm-hmm.
We have to look and see, was it all from one gun? Was it all from one person? Or was it a combined effort? And then you have to look at kind of going like, right, why did some go this way and some go that way? And what angles did they have on the situation to begin with? Was it, do you know what I mean? Like, was it a case of they were sideways on?
What perspective would that give in any situation, regardless? Because if it was 5 shots, 5 men, if it was 1 shot, 1 man, it really makes no difference that a man's life was taken.
No, it doesn't. A man died. End of the story. And a man suffering with mental health issues was killed.
Yep.
Do you know?
We also throw that around a bit too much.
I'm halfway through a sentence here and you're already cutting across me. I'm going to get back. Thank you.
You've been told.
Well, so like, if you look at the perspective, I need to know a bit more about the perspective of the shots. So if the guard was sideways to George and ended up being clipped in the chest rather than being shot in the arm due to a minute, due to fucking wind or whatever, compared to if it was like straight on 2 in the heart. Like, they're very different circumstances and they give a different reading.
But what do you think the guards are trained to shoot for?
I think they're trained to shoot for limbs. That's why there's 2 in the limbs.
No, they're not.
Shoot to kill, like.
They'd shoot to kill.
Is it?
Yes, 100%.
100%, yeah.
100%. A guard will never shoot to
defend.
To disarm a person.
Why not?
Because the statistics, the facts are just in. It doesn't work. If you could literally be come running towards me, and I can shoot you in the legs 5-6 times. I can shoot you in the arms 5-6 times.
But you can still have a knife. You still come at him and stab
at
him.
me.
Like,
yeah, but isn't there like the aftermath as well? That like once if let's say the guy fucking survives the wound, he can still turn around and sue you.
Or he could still turn around and attack you and finish you off.
Yeah.
Well, I get that, but I mean, like, I'm just giving another perspective. Is that not like a case that
no, it's not. No, it's not about the whole suing. It's not. The government's not trying to protect its assets.
Okay.
No, that's not the case. It's shoot to kill. If there's an armed man threatening somebody's life, it is shoot. The orders are shoot to kill. It's not shoot to injure, because you could indeed do what happened with a lady police officer over in Arizona. She got out of her car. There was a guy, he had a big fucking kitchen knife.
It's the same as what happens in the UK, where you have the terrorists. Like, wasn't your man that went on the rampage and ended up being gunned down on one of the bridges in London?
Yeah. That's right. He used his car force.
Yeah.
But where was I going with the
Sorry, I could have crossed you there.
You did. See? Where the fuck was I going with that?
Don't know.
Screw you, and anyway. Over in America, yeah. So there was this police officer. She got out of the car. This guy had a big knife. She took out her taser. She shot the guy with the taser. No effect on him. Literally just pulled it out. Yeah. And of course, there's 2 other police officers around, and they decided to shoot for his legs, but it was too late. He had his hands on her, got the whole knife, and just rammed it up under her rib cage. She didn't die. He was then shot maybe another 10 times.
Oh, yeah.
And he eventually did die.
Oh, there's no way you're getting up out of that.
They went for the kill shot. And this is the reason why you don't go for the limbs. It's because you can continue running on adrenaline with a broken leg.
True.
You know, and you can murder people in that split second, and the authorities can't take that risk.
No, there are people that need to go home after a day's work.
You've sacrificed your right to live once you arm yourself and attack the public. You sacrifice that right.
Will I read out a comment, Aiden?
Please, yes.
It's boiled down to the media and governments trying to divide everyone. If we're busy fighting each other, that's less eyes on them. IMO?
I know, because you can't blame the media or the government on this one. No, you can't, because what you're seeing right now is groups of black people protesting a so-called injustice, which actually turns out it is a justice. It is justice for the public, what happened. And they're the ones creating the story. The media are just simply picking up on it.
Yeah.
Because from what I've read, I'm like, oh God, the media are being actually quite unbiased in this. And they're giving the facts of the case.
Yeah, and I've seen some great fact-checking articles done where they went through
his criminal record and stuff like that.
Yeah, and showed it never existed.
It never existed, exactly. And that's because people were saying, oh, he had a big criminal record and he was a known scumbag. And
no,
this
he
is
had
what
one previous
Facebook was saying.
with the guards, and that was a mental health act, which obviously did not result in a criminal conviction because it was an act of compassion for the individual and safety of the general public and whatever. But that, like, you know, it's a shit situation, and it's a fucking... Like, they were on a waiting list to have HSE to have HSE come in about his mental health. That, you know, you have to look at it's an underfunding of our mental health service that are generated this incident.
God, man, you're doing finger pointing there to the government, which I find
no.
You're wagging your finger at the government, saying it's your fault he did this.
No, I'm saying
it's exactly what you said.
No, I'm saying it's the government's fault that this situation arose, not his actions. He is responsible for his own actions, but had there been proper mental health intervention and proper funding for it, there's a high likelihood that this event may not have occurred.
Okay, and then again, what we're doing is we're playing the maybe game, because maybe he would have got the help that he needed and still gone on his murderous rampage.
Don't know, like, I mean, if he was presenting as that much of a danger to the public and whatever else.
How many people do you know, how many stories do you know of kids who have been either sexually abused or
You're always about the sexually abused.
Or beaten up or being abused and left in the custody of the parents?
I don't.
You see it all the time. It happens all the time.
We know nothing of his history, and you're putting a lot of shit into that there.
No, in other words,
that's
what I'm saying is...
loading up the cart there, man.
What I'm saying is, you are right. Our mental health system is defunct in this country.
Absolutely.
It's terrible.
Yeah,
it is shit.
Considering
and people
that
can't get the help. Exactly why I said...
Considering that mental illness accounts for about 40% of all illness, it doesn't get 40% of the budget.
But my point of this family, dysfunctional family, who there's some sort of abuse going on somewhere,
completely separate to
the
George.
government are aware of the situation. There's HSE workers working with the children, and then 2 weeks later the children end up burned to their bed. So even with intervention, even with psychiatry, even with medication, even with all of this, these things still can happen. So we cannot do the now government.
No. I'm not like that. You know, those events happened, and there's no change in the events that happened. I just, do feel that had there been...
Do you feel sympathy for him? For George?
Oh, yeah, in a way, yeah, absolutely.
Do you?
Yeah. He was off the rails, and he had significant mental health issues, and it just got out of hand.
If he had significant mental health issues, where are you getting that information from? Because if he wasn't given any type of treatment or help, then there would be no registration of him having significant health issues. So where's the information coming from?
Because his only previous interaction with Gardaí Síochána was due to a mental health act
And what
action.
were the details around that?
Basically, they came to his house and took him away under the Mental Health Act rather than under any punitive criminal
Was
law.
it suicidal thing?
Did-
Do we
that's
know any context?
No, because that's private medical records. All we know is that the only interaction they had was due to the Mental Health Act. Now, that's a pretty... that doesn't happen
Okay,
often.
that's alarm bells, but that's fine, and
No,
that does hapen often. People feeling suicidal, they
Yeah,
threaten suicide, and the
but-
guards turn up at the door.
Yeah, but if it's to do with danger to himself or others, because you can see like he had like explosive violent outbursts. Do you know what I mean? You could say that.
Okay,
based
but
on
he's
his-
only on record having one issue.
Yeah.
So therefore, how can our government take responsibility?
I'm not asking the government to take responsibility
but
for it.
how can they even help this man if there's only one incident?
Because he was on a waiting list to be helped. That is recorded.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, sorry.
Right.
I was like, I tried to inform myself as best I could.
Okay, so he was on a waiting list for how long, and what was he being treated for?
No, see, you'd never get the diagnosis anyway because...
Well, he's dead, so it makes no difference.
It's private medical records.
Which still makes no difference. There's no such thing as a
Nah.
posthumous. You can have medical records of people who are dead.
No, you
as
can't.
long as there's not an investigation into it.
GDPR.
Yeah, as long as there's not an investigation into it. You
GDPR.
can. I know all about it.
GDPR, man. You can't have people's medical records.
Yes, you can once they're dead.
No, you can't.
Of course you can. It becomes public record.
Maybe more will come out then. But as it stands at the moment, we have no indication of what his mental health issues are, only that he was waiting for intervention and assessment, all that sort of stuff.
So what we can
Those very, very early stages of treatment.
What we can agree was that the guy was slightly crazy.
Oh, completely crazy.
Right, so we can agree on that. We don't know whether the government did or did not do enough
I
for
don't
him.
think a sane person would act in the way he did, like.
No, but it's only crazy people who kill crazy people. Who kill.
Now, did you trip over yourself there?
No, I know, it's only crazy people who kill. Sane people don't kill. Have you
So-
ever met a sane person who kills except for war?
See, you're after just
No, but
there's
have
a
you
little
ever-
fence there now.
No.
There's a little picket fence in
Ted
front of what
Bundy.
you're saying.
Ted Bundy, you know,
That's
he was
an
he was
extreme
crazy guy.
example. That's an extreme example.
The guy who killed these kids up here in, I think it was Cork.
Kanturk.
What was his name?
I can't remember, but that was horrific.
It was a horrible story.
Yeah.
But again, psycho. But he deserved to be behind bars or getting the mental health treatment that was needed. People slip through the cracks all the time. So we can't do the whole finger wagging thing at the government. So this is why I want to.
We can say there should be less fucking cracks.
But can we? Yes, of course there should be, and
Exactly.
this is what we should be fighting for.
Yeah.
Fighting for.
This is what.
So and rather than fighting about race, we should be looking at the real issue, which is the mental health issue.
I don't support the protests, like.
No, I don't think many people do. What
That's
are
good,
you
because
guys doing over there? What the fuck was happening
Just
over
a bit
there?
of sound engineering, man.
I don't think this is my whole point of this conversation is it should have never been a racial issue. It should have been an indication of something else that went wrong, and that something else, as it turns out, is mental health. Something did go wrong. I'm not going to blame the government on that. I'm just not going to do it.
But I mean, I honestly think the Gardaí do not receive enough training in
God love them.
in mental health. They obviously get some training in de-escalation and everything else, but like in non-violent crisis intervention and things like this, like because they have the use of force, that they're not steered towards the non-violent avenues. Like,
Well, have you watched the documentary that was on Virgin Media? I think it was called District K or something like that. It was called The Guards District K. It's like all Blanchardstown. It's the specific
I remember
district.
seeing that a bit. Yeah. That was
Okay,
good.
so
they're dealing with like heavy shit constantly.
If you anybody out there, just watch. I think is it called K District K? 08527272112. What is the name of the show that had the guards? It was a documentary following scumbags around Tala.
Comments? Do you
Comments, please.
Stuart Hayes, trained to shoot in the gut, large target. Shooting for limbs could lead to stray bullets.
Two entered the house, by the way. 2 bullets entered the house through a front window or something like that.
Oh, okay. Possibly leading to a higher chance of civilian casualties. Jean Doyle says that's bollocks. Paddy Broder, what bollocks? The shoot to kill theory. And then Stuart Hayes says inside the K.
Inside the K. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That was quick.
But
Yeah,
you
really
should
quick.
watch Inside the K because it really does give you what it looks like for the life of a guard and the shit that they put up to.
They see a
I
different
was-
world. They
I
see a
was-
vastly different world.
I was standing outside of Sophia's Takeaway about, I think it was February last year, just when the pandemic was starting. And I remember standing outside and I was in the queue with a guard, small little blonde guard, and we were chatting about the pandemic and so on and so forth. And she said to me, "Did you see that program, District 9? What was it?
Inside the K.
Inside the K.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah. I said, how do you not just punch the head off these scumbags? How do you have the resolve to just take your time and effort and care and treat them like they're a customer rather than the piece of shit that they are?" And she said it's difficult. She said, but the Irish Guards try to pride themselves on being able to handle large-scale situations with their mouths rather than with their weapons.
Oh, absolutely. Like, big up the guards for being like, you know, a relatively non-violent group. Like, you know, like, I mean, you wouldn't get away with half the shit you would in Ireland in somewhere like Spain or Germany, where they're just.
What black people should remember is, by the way, that we have a thing called the ombudsman who will automatically
GSOC.
investigate
Yeah.
any shooting, whether you're black or white. If a guard discharges his sidearm, they have to account for that, and there will automatically be an investigation into it regardless, without them screaming outside the place.
Yeah.
You know, no justice, no peace, shite.
What is that called?
Will I read out of
GSOC.
GSOC. Okay.
Yeah, or the ombudsman.
Ombudsman.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
comment
they
from
different?
Frank?
Frank, please.
How can you not blame the government for the state of the health system? Their policies have created the debacle we all have directly.
Yes, I can blame. So read that again.
How can you not blame the government for the state of the health system? Their policies have created the debacle we have directly.
I do blame the government for the state of our health system, but there are still people like me who has received help from our government, who has received
And the best of
psychiatric
healthcare.
help, who has received physical
You have
help.
to remember some others haven't.
And if it wasn't for them, you know, I probably wouldn't be fucking here.
No, but
It's
like,
as simple as that.
Like, one thing is that, like, when you're within the public healthcare setting, you might never see the same doctor twice.
Yes, I get
or
that.
it could be many years between you seeing the same doctor. So there isn't that opportunity for a rapport to be built up, for that doctor-patient relationship to be created.
Yep.
All they're seeing is a bare set of facts and someone in crisis.
Shout out to Cigar. He says, "Hey guys, hello."
All right, Cigar.
What up?
But I do blame the government on the situation of the health system because we've more pen pushers and administration, and it is being ran completely wrong. But regardless, the situation that happened in Blanchardstown cannot be solely pointed at the HSE and the lack of help that was given to this man, because we don't know. We don't have a time machine. If he got the help, would he have still done it? We don't know. We have no
Don't know
idea.
the situation.
Like,
Don't
I
know
mean,
what's the
it's
motive
like-
behind the whole thing.
It's inevitable, man.
When you look at all these training regimes and all that, and you know that, like, an awful lot of the riot police tactics and public order tactics are based off ancient Roman strategy, where they had their shields and stuff like that. How come, like, there's nothing for, like, I don't know, 3 or 5 lads with big shields just to fucking pin someone in?
Yeah.
It's all well and good in a
No,
perfect. It is in a perfect
I,
world.
I'm just talking about like what potential other options are there. Like, I mean, obviously enough, a ranged weapon is the safest
Your
option.
tranquilizer is a great idea.
I know, but then like I'm here thinking in my own head.
What if they have a reaction to it and
Well,
die?
what? Yeah, exactly. What about that? What's going to actually act quick enough for it to be useful in a place like that? Because, you know, if you see like an elephant getting fucking taken down so that they
Takes
can
some
measure
time.
its foot size,
Yeah.
you know, it takes time for that shit, and they, have to
they can do a
fucking
lot
follow
of
it.
damage. in
Yeah,
that time. But I think no matter what, I'm convinced at this stage that the people who I'm seeing in these videos, the Black Lives Matter videos, are not doing this as a call for justice, but more they're doing, it's the dying screams of a time that has passed and that should be past. It is people who are clinging on to an old idea of racism that doesn't exist in this country. We're very privileged in this country to say that we're not like any other country in the world.
Yeah.
We're very, very unique and we integrate so well. So I beg and implore, again, the people.
Well, I got one comment before the break, man.
Yeah, go ahead.
You could be on crutches with one leg, 3 fingers, and wearing an eye patch. But if I had a gun and you ran at me with a knife, get ready to meet the Lord, son.
Absolutely.
Yes, whoever you are, shout out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's
And
go.
that is the truth. Now, it is ad
It
break.
is,
right?
man. Phew.
Okie dokie, so we'll be back in another 5
Bye.
minutes.
So, Billy, does your social media look like a teenager's bedroom?
What? Full of Justin Bieber posters?
No, you incompetent fool. Messy and unorganized.
Yeah, it kinda does. But what can I do about it?
Oh, poor simple Billy. Why not put all your social media in one convenient place?
But gee whiz, mister, how can I do that?
With Social QR, of course. It's easy, fast, and free.
But what's Social QR?
Well, Billy, I'm glad you asked. Social QR is a one-stop shop for personal and business social media users to have all your social media in one place. Easy to set up, easy to share, and fully customizable, with your own custom QR code suitable for digital and print media.
Jiminy crickets, so now it'll be as tidy as my web browser?
So don't forget, Billy, that's socialqr.xyz. And Billy, take down the Justin Bieber posters.
Aww.
Every day, Richie has to drive 2 miles to bum tobacco from his friends. With your generous donation of only $19.20 a week, Richie won't have to sponge from his friends. Text Richie to 5210342 759126089 so we can finally tell Richie to piss off.
From its rich traditions beginning when the first AM radio transmission was broadcast in the year 1900 to present day, where radio is still the most listened to form of media and the #1 source for people of all ages to enjoy their favorite music and discover new artists. Sure, the technology has changed, but the concept has stood the test of time throughout history. From the end of World War II,
General Eisenhower informs me that the forces of Germany have surrendered to the United Nations. The flags of freedom fly all over Europe.
to the falling of the Berlin Wall.
Our top story. The Iron Curtain between East Germany and West Berlin has come tumbling down.
To the U.S. entering the War on Terror.
None of us will ever forget this day, yet we go forward to defend freedom and all that is good and just in our world. Thank you. Good night, and God bless America.
Generations across the world are united by music as it transcends all language barriers. It brings everyone on planet Earth closer together. We at iStreamRadio.ie understand what radio has done for the world and would like to thank radio for its 100-plus years of service. Radio has been here through thick and thin. Thank you, radio.
Imagination is the beginning of creation. You imagine what you desire. You will what you imagine. And at last, we create what you will. Don't wait for the right opportunity. Let us create it. When the virtual world of the internet, ideas, dreams, and concepts have become a reality, now is the time to bring your idea to the digital world. MilestoneMedia.ie offer a full range of digital services such as web development, hosting, audio, and visual services. Inspiration has a new platform. MilestoneMedia.ie. Experience the difference.
Tired of getting more screwed over than your cousin Jesse's pig? Sick of those uppity cowboys over at the Irish Insurance Federation? Is your vehicle being overpriced because it's undervalued? Does your annual quote leave you feeling sicker than the morning you woke up beside your sister? Well, leg it down to Leggett Insurance. Leggett Insurance is the answer to all your insurance needs. Bored off the road? No problem. Old lady turf you out and you gotta move your collection of lawn art? That's okay. Underage? Well, shit, that ain't your fault. Our unique style cover provisions includes a real insurance disc to put in your windshield and the understanding that if something goes wrong, you use our groundbreaking policy. Run as fast as you can before anyone gets your wrench. The golden rule is to make sure you pick up any bits of your car left behind so you can't be identified. Your one-off payment of $29.99 annually provides all of the above. And for an additional $40, we provide you with a full windscreen worth in your very own Leggett disc holder. Just call us on 2800 Yeehaw! That's 2800 Yeehaw! Sail through that checkpoint today! Itchy, smelly scrotum getting you down. Worried about ball sweat on the dance floor? Well, worry no more. New sandalwood and lavender scented Man Ponds has your nutsack covered. Our unique smell-inhibiting fibrous wadding ensures your most repugnant odors are kept to yourself. So next time she drops the hand, you can feel confident it's not into a vat of nut soup. And don't forget, you can be the sweetest smelling stud in the nursing home with new Man Ponds Twilight Edition for seniors. Order our economy size 86 pack today on manponds.org. Man Ponds, because you don't need to smell any worse.
The Supernatural Dogshit podcast is controversial and confrontational and may cause offense to some. Listener discretion is advised.
And you're very welcome back to the Supernatural Dogshit podcast. Well, I wouldn't even say that last hour was heated. Would you guys?
It's alright, man. For what it was.
I'm not gonna lie. Considering how awkward it made the first hour, like it actually was fairly grand.
Could have been worse, man.
You know, like if you think different, please comment in.
Did you think I was going to go all racist?
No, I didn't think you were going to go all racist. I think you're too level-headed for that. I don't know. I just thought you were going to shout at me a bit more.
No, I think we can both agree in this because, I mean, common sense. We can all see that there is common sense in this argument.
Yeah, 100%.
And
yeah.
you would want to be a complete and utter fucking retard or completely ignorant to not see that there is common sense in everything that we're saying. That this situation is uncalled for.
I would have loved to get Richie's fuller a conversation in on this because I can assume.
I'm sure he'd be colourful about the situation.
Yeah, I think you and him would have actually.
Can I have a comment that comes in on this?
Yeah, go ahead.
From Paddy. At the end of the day, he committed a crime in a public place. He left the scene of a crime. He had an illegal weapon in public. He was asked numerous times to stop and was both pepper sprayed and tasered. He then went and attacked a Garda member. So the consequences of that are quite simple. And that rule applies to everyone, myself included.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Could you hear that? Okay, sorry.
That was perfect. And my question is still going back to the why. Why are black people behaving this way?
Because it's going to become a trend now. It's a trend-setting thing.
I don't think it's
You will see more and more of this, Aiden.
I don't think it's as simple as a trend because a trend would suggest a person the way they wear their clothes, or you know.
But like, it's part of a widespread cultural phenomenon at the moment.
Why? Why is that? Is there something biologically wrong with them?
No, would you fuck off with that? No, because like there are parts of the world, like mainly America,
are biologically right with them.
No, but like there are. No, you had to fucking take a long time to think of that bit.
No, but you get my meaning.
I know. I know where you're coming from, but no, I think it's the fact that like in places like in America and stuff, there is huge amounts of absolute systemic racism and...
No, there's not. You're wrong.
No.
You're wrong. You're fucking wrong, man.
Someone was lynched like fucking 2 years ago in America.
A black man?
Yeah.
And there was let me see. Let me put my thinking cap on. When was the last time a white man was lynched in America? 3 months ago?
Lynched.
Who? Kicked to death.
No, that's not lynching.
That is lynching. He was brought out and kicked to death.
No. This black person was hung from a tree.
Okay.
In the old fucking KKK
we'll call it
way.
a modern day lynching. So.
No, being kicked to death is just
the end result is the same thing. It's death.
They're different.
No, it's not. One is symbolism, hanging a man from a tree or kicking
exactly.
to death. What are you going to choose?
No, but you're talking about fucking symbolism.
End result is the same.
You're talking about fucking symbolism, and it is symbolic. And
but what you're doing is
you're
making excuses saying that somehow a man being hung from a tree is different than a man being kicked to death in the ground. You're making
especially when there's a long history of it.
Okay, and now was it time for their revenge? Is that what this is?
I don't think it's revenge. I think it's just fucking outcry and grief.
For what? There's nothing happening. The world is at peace.
It's something you can't understand unless you're a part of it.
It could be one of
we're,
those
we're
things.
right now dragged into it.
No. It's not. It's not part of your
You can
ethnic
choose to
background.
be dragged in. You can let it affect you, or you can let it not affect you.
It's
But
not. It's not affecting me. I'm trying to understand it.
It's like people who don't like to be political because they don't think politics affects them. They're just that far removed from what's happening.
Well, see, what I'm trying to understand is, I asked you a question: is there something biologically wrong with them? Is there? And you kind of went, well, fuck you. And
Yeah,
then I
kinda,
changed.
exactly what I
Then I
did.
changed the words to, okay, is there something biologically right with them?
After about 4 or 5 seconds of thinking time
Yes,
there to
yes.
try and switch it
Okay,
around, and
no,
you went for the
it's-
polar opposite.
Yes,
the
because-
quickest and easiest thing you could think of.
Because you had no context of why I was saying what I was about to say.
So give me the context.
The context is there a this sounds stupid, right? But I wrote here Chris Rock. Chris Rock done a joke, and he said I hate niggers. He said out straight. He said, I'm a black man. He said, but I hate niggers. He said, I'm no nigger. He said, a nigger is the guy in the queue behind
How
you.
often can you fit that word into the next 10 seconds?
As many as Chris Rock said it. There's no such thing as bad words. There's only bad intentions, and I do not use this in any intention
you're just
to
saying.
hurt anybody. I'm only repeating what somebody else said.
I know. I'm just.
So Chris Rock said,
I've seen it, I've seen
a
it.
nigger is the guy in the queue behind you in the ATM with a gun waiting to rob you. He said, that's a nigger. He said, and what is it with black people? He said, we have traits. There's something different about us. He said, if you go into a room of black people, he said, and one of them runs, they all run together. It's a group mentality of they behave the same way together. And that's been spinning around in my brain. Is this group mentality something that has been learned behavior that has been passed on? That as soon as something bad happens in the world, it is the fault of the white man. And this is what they're teaching their children. Because I thought we were past
I'd
this.
say they're all probably running because they're used to the fact that it's always a black man that dies first.
And that's, no, is
like
that...
that's an actual cultural phenomenon in horror
exactly,
films.
yes, it is.
You know
So
what I mean? Like
here's
it's
the thing, though.
ingrained in entertainment as much as fact.
So here's the thing. What triggers the response for them to run? A history and a fear that's ingrained into them. A fear. And a fear is something that is a chemical that's released into your body to provoke a response from you to get out of danger. So this is why I asked the question, is there something medically wrong or biologically wrong that something is saying this is dangerous to you but it's not really dangerous to you? Or is it something right where they have learned that white people were the predators of the black people? Where a rose, a rose, a simple rose, it grew thorns to protect itself. Doesn't mean it's racist, but it grew thorns to protect itself. I'm asking the question, did black people grow something in their subconscious somewhere to say that we are dangerous?
You're going to need a psychologist to start answering some of these questions.
But
I get where you're
I
coming
really
from,
think that you should invite some people of
Jordan
colour onto
Peterson?
this show. I think you should invite some people of colour
I've
onto
sent
this show.
off so many emails. I've sent off so many emails. It just seems that people don't want to come on and have the honest conversation.
I'll bring in someone.
A black person, but they have to be completely against my opinion. They have to be because no.
They can bring in their own opinion, which is valid in its own right. You can't
exactly.
you can't cherry pick.
No. They have to be against my opinion, and there's a reason why.
Okay.
You cannot bring somebody in here. Me and you were both sitting here agreeing on things. Not very entertaining. Doesn't get us very anywhere. We already know this. As we said,
It
it's
doesn't
common
broaden
sense.
the conversation, like.
Exactly. But if I have somebody who's on the opposite end of this, who is saying to me, "But Aiden, what you're underestimating is 1,200 years of blah 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 blah," then I can understand it from their perspective. From you guys, I can't, because you're not black. It's very simple.
Yeah.
So
Fair
I do need a black person to speak to.
Leave it with me.
I need this black person to come in here as an enemy and walk out a friend, to realise that both of us, our conscience doesn't have a colour, and our conscience is what motivates us in life. It's what gets us through life. It is the thing that's in control, and it doesn't even exist. It's in the ether.
I can't believe we're in the year 2021 and racism is
Still
a
a
thing.
fucking topic.
Still a fucking thing. Can
And
we
who-
not just be done with it already? We're black, we're white, it doesn't matter what colour we are.
Population of America, 13% is black, yes?
Something like that, yeah.
14%, and yet they commit 54% of the murders. Something wrong there.
There is.
And how can I say that without saying what you said during the break? How can I say something like that without sounding racist? I'm just going to be honest about it and say there's something fucking wrong. If there's 14% of the population committing 50-odd% of the murders, there's clearly something going on there.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. That's what I said. Like, I come from a country that's predominantly black, and you know, obviously lived through a lot, seen a lot of change in, you know, like racist situations, coming from apartheid to you know, to where government is ruling now, but run a first world country into complete economical decline. You know, it's a very, you know, like the whole George, the George Floyd thing, the George Nkencho, you know, the whole thing. It's a very touchy topic for me. So it's very difficult.
But explain why it's a touchy topic.
I will come off too racist. I definitely will.
I love where your ears are, JJ.
I know, yeah.
it's the music's so loud in this. I can't fucking.
No, you're grand. You're grand.
The big ears, sorry.
Mickey Mouse over here. No, don't be a moron. Say whatever it is that you have to say, because the stupidest things are the things that are left unsaid.
Yeah.
You know, and we'll never make progress. So what you give us your experience, because you come from a culture that we couldn't fathom. We've no idea.
Look,
and we're trying to understand the mentality of black people. You have an insight. So tell us.
There is a lot of things like from what I've seen and what I've lived through is that you know, it's become a point where racist, you can't be racist if you're black. So race, you know, you can't be like be racist towards a white person. Like, I've been called an umlungu, which means scum of the fucking ocean. You know, like many fucking things. Cracker wouldn't be one of them.
Were you a slave owner?
Oh fuck no, of course not.
Was your father a slave owner?
Of course not.
Okay, so
of course not.
So why are you the scum?
But that's just, they are allowed to call you whatever the fuck they want, and there's going to be no, like, again, you know, repercussions or consequences whatsoever.
So over there in the motherland, it is clearly a sin. The sins of the great grandfather are your responsibility to fix.
That's exactly that. And because of years of that oppression, it's they are in a position where they feel that everything is owed to them. Which is very unfair, which obviously, you know, is a big part of driving the country into a economical decline to where it is, because you have people that have no fucking idea what they're doing in a position, and they're making fucking millions where, you know, you got fucking qualified engineers and doctors and stuff that can't find a fucking job, and they have to escape and, you know, move to a different country, migrate, and it's all based to basically who you know.
And be honest, be 100% honest with me here. Is that what you wanted to say? Because if that's what you wanted to say, that doesn't come across racist in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, no. Look,
and we have.
I don't have a racist bone in me. It's
we
just
have
like
the ultimate lefty to my right, which is unusual. Do you think anything he said is racist?
No, not in the slightest.
Not in the slightest.
One thing he touched on, which I thought was really, really interesting. You're talking there about how, like, you know, they have a golden right to say whatever the fuck they want to because of your skin color. Yeah. You could say the same in Ireland about anyone who's English. They're a tan. Do you know? Yeah. Like that phrase, "you're a tan." You know?
Yeah, but we're not taking their land. We're not murdering them.
No. But I'm just saying, like, you know, just as a general fucking cultural phenomena.
But you know, here's the thing, and I've often fucking said this. What pisses me off is people who are surprised. I know a lady who works in O'Brien's garage. She's a Jamaican lady. Absolutely wonderful, beautiful. Love her to bits. Love her to bits. I'm always being filthy dirty with her. Like I was in there the other day, and I asked her to hang tassels from her ditties and twist them around and all sorts.
What the fuck, man? You're in there buying your loaf of bread.
What kind of conversation are you having with people, man?
But she loves this stuff. She actually told me a really strange story where she brought her child to Germany to see a relative who was white but had never met a black person before. And she went over, was an old woman, and licked the child to see did she taste like chocolate.
What the fuck?
What?
And the mother just laughed because she said it wasn't done out of racism, it was done out of pure ignorance.
Yeah.
She said, I wasn't offended by it in any way, shape or form. She said, but this is
like, it wasn't like she grabbed a fucking dishcloth, like.
Exactly.
A few comments here, Aiden.
Yeah,
will I go for it?
Yeah.
It's for control, Aiden. Shane Scary says, I heard when he got shot, he actually died of COVID. Ooh, I had to read it, man. It's so good. Pierce, you're hilarious, dude. Your one-liners. That's from Paddy. And is it John or John Doyle?
Cheers,
Jean,
buddy.
Oh, Jean, sorry.
Jean,
She
Jean.
says turn off the music.
What, is it too loud?
It's so loud, man. Yeah.
I'm not hearing it loud.
You're going fucking
Man, I
deaf,
feel like
like-
I'm in a silent disco over here. Like.
It must be my headphones. Are you guys not hearing it?
No, it's quite loud. Like
It's probably you going deaf from listening to this shit every week.
I listen to loud music.
Sorry,
yeah,
what?
this
Can't
is
hear a word you're
super
saying.
loud, man.
So, but yeah, what did Jean say?
You turn off the music.
Oh, that was it.
It
All right.
sucks, man. Yeah.
Yes, that's my mother.
It's like elevator music,
That-
is it?
that's my
Oh, hi,
mother.
Aiden's mother.
Yeah,
Oh.
so there probably will be a few racial epithets thrown in there as well,
No bother.
knowing my mother.
I wonder where she gets it from. I wonder where you get it from.
yeah, I didn't lick it off the ground anyway.
Well,
Yeah.
well, here's the thing. Genuinely, I do think there's a there's a generation issue. I think with every generation that comes, we get a little closer to peace. I really
Hopefully,
do.
fingers crossed, because like we are in like amongst the most peaceful times it's ever been.
Yes. And what I see now is I see people making up lies like George Floyd. That was an unjust killing. You know, the context matters, and it came out later on that George Floyd died of an overdose. There was fentanyl in the system, and it wasn't due to blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
You know, and that was a situation that was hyped up, and it was brought under the banner of Black Lives Matter, and $80 billion worth of damage done, over 1,000 officers injured, 30-something people killed, all over something that was justified. Nothing was done wrong on that day. And the same can equally be said what happened in Blanchardstown.
Agreed.
And I don't want to see a situation where I have to stand in the middle of that street against a black man, my brother, because I do think there are... Look, the only thing dividing us is water. I don't want to be out there defending my town just because he hates me because I'm white.
Yeah,
I don't want to be there.
All for one and one for all, man. That's all I can say.
There's no place for race wars here.
No, and
Yeah,
there's
I
not.
know, yeah.
There's not. And this is why we need to dispel
We're not
them.
that country. Like,
You know,
I think I said this on the first podcast I was on with you guys. If we had to get fucking invaded by aliens or something, you know,
yeah,
we'd be
how are they going to
fucked.
prepare?
Oh
us?
no,
I had that
we'd
point
be grand.
before.
We'd have them drinking pints in half an hour.
I made that
man,
point
like-
before. If we can't cope with our own race on this earth, how are we going to cope with, say, the alien race or whatever's in the years to come?
Yeah.
It's a total joke.
Yeah.
And
No,
it's all
it's
religion
well,
and
I
shit
do
that's
remember
dividing us.
a couple of weeks ago. Was it a couple of weeks ago? Maybe a month or two ago. Richie was talking about, you know,
Aliens.
this no, this great unifier, the existential threat that will come from outside, where we will all be unified as one against this one common enemy. And again, you know, I'm a lingerer. These type of things lingers in my head, and I'm thinking to myself, no, that'll never be the situation. It doesn't matter whether a comet's coming down and it's going to kill us all.
Wipe us out,
It
yeah.
will not unite us. It won't.
No, people won't believe it exists to begin with.
But even if every one of them existed, it still will not unite us. We have a pandemic before us, whether you believe it, the figures
not.
or not. We have a pandemic with proven deaths before us, and that should have been a great unifier, and yet we are fighting with one another. So existential threat has been proven. It's not going to bring us together. We have to have understanding. And we don't understand each other. I'm going to give you a beautiful story. Sorry for taking all the time.
Go on, you,
It's
man.
your show, man.
I'm going to tell you a beautiful story, and I think I told it on the show before. But part of my ignorance growing up around coloured people, or Indian, or Iranian, or Iraqi, or whatever, everything I got from the TV. I was educated by the TV, and the TV said black man bad. You know, the war's over there. Brown people all killing each other. There's no humanity in them whatsoever. One dies, who gives a shit? There's 100 more. That's the type of news that was on the TV 24/7. You know, that these were bad terrorist people who deserve to die, and America was great, and we should believe them, and blah, blah, blah. And about 4 years ago, and this, I mean, I'm still learning, 40 years of age, but about 4 years ago, this happened to me. Now, my mind opened to other cultures when I met Pakistanis, and I fell in love with their culture because it's actually so interesting, even their religion.
Any
is
culture
itself.
can be interesting.
And it opened every door to every other type of race that's on the earth. I have opened my doors, and I'm inquisitive. I like to ask them questions. But I was over in a takeaway that was owned by two Pakistani people over in Castle Pollard. Right. And there was a guy working in the kitchen who had only got there 2 days beforehand from Iraq.
God.
And he was a big,
And he got a job straight away in Ireland.
Well, he was here illegally.
Okay.
But big, scary-looking motherfucker, big, muscly bastard. And you're looking at him going, if ever a terrorist, there you go, there. But he could speak Arabic.
Sizes, isn't it?
It is, yeah. But he could speak Arabic and he could speak Urdu.
All right.
Yeah, so he's multilingual, but he actually walked from Iraq to Ireland.
Are you kidding me?
He walked.
How?
Walked through the borders. He said getting through on trucks, too difficult. Just walk. He said walk the whole way.
Legend. Imagine that for a journey, man.
But this is the beautiful part of the story. When I was introduced to him and I was told he was from Iraq, all these images of dead school kids and gassings and Saddam and all of that just flooded into my head and made me judge this man before I even knew him. Me and one of the other guys were in the kitchen and we were playing that game, Slaps. You know Slaps?
Yeah.
So it's where you put your hand out and you basically slap the other hand. The guy who was playing against me was like 20 years of age, much quicker, younger, fitter, faster. And I'm standing there and he keeps slapping me hand and he slapped me hand. And the Iraqi guy walked in and saw him do it.
Yeah.
And he ran over and pushed him away and in Urdu said, "How dare you do that? You respect your elders. Don't ever put your hands on another human being again." Then walked over, took my hand and rubbed my hand as if to take the pain away.
That's so nice, like.
And in my head I'm going, terrorist.
In your head you're going, kiss it, baby. Kiss my hand.
Literally within a split second, my entire view immediately changed. I went, what am I thinking? Of course they're fucking human beings.
Yeah.
Of course they're...
Everyone wants a nice, happy life, like.
Who
But
doesn't?
why can't we see through that? Why does it take situations like my situation for true humanity to shine through? And it doesn't matter what colour you are or where you come from. It should not make a difference. It should make... as was it Malcolm X? No, Martin Luther King? It should be the content of your character that should be judged, not the colour of your skin.
Absolutely.
You know, and I judged that man on the colour of his skin. And he taught me a very valuable lesson that day. You know, I will never, ever make that mistake again.
Cool.
Never make that mistake again. But what a beautiful story. It's
I'm the big lefty.
It's a story of two cultures, me being the ignorant one in the
Did he let you go back to playing slaps?
No, he wouldn't allow it because he said no, that's too disrespectful for me. I was laughing, trying to laugh it off and, you know, be all macho about it and that.
Yeah.
But inside I was going, that is a true sign of humanity right there. I am a different colour than him. He has seen my coloured people kill his family.
Yeah.
He has had bombs drop in his hand. He told us stories about when he would walk to school and he had to walk under an archway that had bodies hanging from it until the heads would rot off and the bodies had hit the ground. He told us horrendous stories, and the people who caused them problems were people like me, white people, who he is supposed to inherently not trust. But yet, he on that day was a bigger human than I have ever been. To see through all of the bullshit and the colour. He was a much better human being than I, and I learned from that man, and I'm very grateful for meeting him.
Just a comment just in now. Aiden's story proves he's not a complete dick.
Yeah.
I don't know who that's from. It's just a number, no name. So shout out whoever you are.
Yeah, so I mean, we just need to break down the cultural barriers.
Absolutely.
And appreciate each other's culture and learn, because, I mean, you look at Ireland before we had anybody else. I mean, I remember a time when there was no black people or brown people. It was only Chinese. The Chinese were always here for some reason.
Oh, I remember that.
Because it was always a Chinese curry shop. It was always a shop.
They were like the first takeaways.
And there used to be every now and again you'd go into a shop that was full of like Indian stuff, and we'd call it the packy shop. That was what we used to call them, the packy shops with carpets and stuff like that.
Man, yeah.
So, you know, our interaction was very small with them. And I see much bigger, better, beautiful interaction with people mingling into our society, adopting our culture, us adopting their cultures.
Yeah.
You know, we should be able to take the good from what they show us. But if they come over here with a big mess and start a mess over here, we can't accept that.
Oh, no one wants a messy house, like.
Nobody wants it.
People genuinely want to come over here and make a better living for themselves because they can't, because of things back home. You know?
So, man, going to like one of the Pakistani shops and stuff, man, you know, like I felt...
Even the Polish
I feel a lot
shops
better
downtown.
going into like a Pakistani shop, you know, like not the service, but actually just, I don't know, the guy behind the counter where we pay and stuff, you know, he's always like so just not good, but like fucking super sound, you know, like fucking
older guy in his late 40s, moustache.
Yeah,
beard.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And he'll tell me, oh man, that curry that you, well, not. You know, like fucking, but he'd be like, fucking, you know, that curry's the best one, or he'd be like, oh no, you don't want that one, rather take the other one, or something like that.
Nice.
As to when you go to Tesco and you like fucking rush out there, you're like, you know, you got to take all your stuff and pack it on the counter behind you to actually like fucking pack your bags and stuff.
I think
so it's a nice.
I think what as Irish people and black people, what we have to remember is that there's growing pains, and there's going to be growing pains.
Absolutely,
of learning, the clash of cultures, and learning to accept one another, and hopefully within the next generation of kids who grow up, hopefully racism will disappear completely, because I do see a trend of that happening.
Oh, definitely. Like, if I think one of the funniest things I've ever seen on television was when Sean O'Halapine was going out for Cork, and is it Micheál Moriarty, the fucking commentator on RTE, and he's like, his father from Fiji and is his father from Fiji or his mother from Fiji?
Can't remember.
Anyway, his father from Fiji and his mother from Fermanagh. Neither are Hurling's stronghold.
Well, I think it was Tommy Tiernan who said it best about the Irish. Are we racist, or are we just having the crack? I think we're just having the crack.
Oh, definitely.
Because we're so self-deprecating.
I've met a lot of Irish people so far, and I've got plenty of Irish friends now, and I don't think I've once heard anyone give a fucking
racial slur.
A racial slur. Like, obviously we'll take the piss of each other,
but that's
like,
harmless crack, as
but
we call it.
I've never like seriously. I don't think like anyone has. Okay, maybe one, but.
But we don't have that ingrained venom
exactly
in it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
there isn't that will to fucking
Why don't
destroy.
we?
Because it's
not part of us.
But here's the thing: we suffered at the hands of the British, and I love the Brits. I think again, our brothers in arms. They really are.
Shit culture.
Everybody who was responsible for that culture back then is long dead. So there's nobody. I can't blame the British people who are alive now.
No.
I would love to rejoin the Commonwealth. I would think it would be the best thing for this country.
No, the EU's better.
The
EU is a million times better.
I think it would be better for this country
No.
to be able to make its own rules again, because we were never given enough time to stand on our own feet to figure out whether we could or we couldn't do it. We only had our country for a very short period of time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we made a lot of mistakes, but we could have learned by those mistakes, and we could have ran our own resources.
What rules do you want to make, Sophie? What rules do you not think we're able to make right now?
Well, it's not really about the rules. It's more about the regulations around resources and how we don't exploit them to our needs, but rather
we sell them off
very cheap. And
that's not an EU thing. That's an us thing.
Well, the EU has forced the hands of the zinc vein under Mullingar.
Yeah, but we're talking about the fucking the
oil reserves, gas reserves. We have it all.
Yeah,
one of the most richest countries in the world. We could have social welfare of $2,000 a week if we just bothered our arse to take our own reserves.
Shit.
But we don't.
I don't think that was driven by the EU though.
And as far as I know, the zinc one is.
Yeah, but the other one.
The Corrib gas.
No, you're not. Fucking Rossport.
Oh, I'm not familiar.
Mayo.
Oh yeah, that was right down beside my sister.
Yeah. That wasn't directed by the EU, I don't think. That was
that was a British company, wasn't it?
Yeah, but like the sale of it was nothing to do with the EU. That was an Irish
I'm not
driven
familiar
thing.
with it. No, I genuinely don't know the details of that story. I just know that ever since we did join the EU, actually maybe it's not a bad thing, because maybe we did become more tolerant.
We've gotten some fucking great roads. We got what was it? €4 out for every euro we put in for fucking 30 years.
I suppose I don't want to be...
That's a lot of money.
I don't want to be the whipping boy for Europe. I don't want Ireland to be the whipping boy for Europe, because what we've done is we have joined this much better cause to be one and to be united, which is a fabulous idea. But they have picked on us. They have used us to clear massive debts that didn't belong to us.
Yeah, no, we paid far too much for that fucking banking collapse.
We paid way too much. We paid, I think it was 47% of the entire EU debt we paid back.
Jesus
this little
Christ.
country
Because
paid
they
back
knew-
everybody else's debt, 47% of it.
We're the little engine that could,
And I think the EU, there's a lot of mistrust there because of that, because that was billions that you're still paying to this day out of your
it'll
taxes.
go on for my lifetime and the generations after.
Yes.
And I can see that they're being quite prejudiced towards us. Because they're not doing it with England, they're not doing it, well, they're not anymore with England.
Nah, they can't do fuck all with England.
But they're not doing it with Spain or Turkey or, there's
Greece, Italy.
Greece.
Let's go back to all the pigs countries,
Yeah, but the problem is they're not paying their fair share.
They don't have it. If you look at Greece at the moment, they're overwhelmed with people coming across the Mediterranean.
We're actually, I think it's number 4 or number 5 in the richest country in the world. But it's actually a false economy that we're lying on top of.
Well, but the 5th largest economy in the world is California.
5th largest financial economy in the world.
Dubai.
Yeah, but going by
is Ireland.
GDP.
No way.
GDP, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, going by GDP. Do you know why? because
all the fucking post boxes in the IFC.
No, it was because
IFSC.
what happened was, and now it's false. It doesn't mean anything. There is all this money in the country, but it doesn't belong to the country. It was the likes of when Apple came in, and when Samsung came over and eBay came over, our GDP went. Poof.
Oh, of course, because
but it was false. It wasn't real.
Yeah, no, it's completely false because they're able to fucking use us as a docking station to fucking send so stuff lands here and bounces out because they've their special rates. Like, what was it? Someone came out recently as only having to pay the normal corporate tax of 0.1%, and you're just like, what the fuck is that about? Like,
yeah, but see, no, I'm okay with that. I'm
not entirely okay with that.
Well, how do you?
I don't think that someone running a fucking shop or a chipper or a business of any kind and paying like fucking 40% tax should be disadvantaged by a massive multinational paying 0.1%.
Yeah, I agree with you fully.
Okay, so
whatever about them getting a bit of a sweetener.
Let me put a scenario to you.
They wouldn't get away with it elsewhere.
Right? Exactly. So this is the scenario I'm going to put to you. You're Amazon, okay? You're Jeff Bezos. You're Amazon. I'm Ireland.
Have you seen that Twitter handle, by the way?
He's South Africa. What Twitter handle?
Today, Jeff Bezos decided not to cure world hunger.
Yes, I did. Yeah. You sent that to me.
I think I did. Yeah.
But he's South Africa. I'm Ireland. You're Jeff Bezos. You need to set up, and you need somewhere you're going to save the most money. I offer you the better tax incentive. You're going to come to my country because I've incentivized you to come into my country.
Yep.
But now you're creating jobs, and those jobs in turn pay taxes, and those taxes end up in billions. Not just the 0.1% that they pay in their overall taxes, but the employees' tax as well, and corporation tax.
No, the corporation tax is the 0.1%.
And VAT.
But
it's all the bucket. It's all going in the one bucket, my friend.
No, but you see, like, at the end of the day, an individual's PAYE contributions are that individual's contribution to the economy. The surplus profit from their labour is sucked up by the company and is meant to have a little bit like, I am getting a bit fucking.
How would you entice? How would you? I'm Amazon now. You're Ireland. He's South
Africa.
No. How would you entice me?
No, I fully believe that like these sweeteners are good and the IDA grants are good and all this stuff is really, really brilliant in attracting direct foreign investment. I just think that maybe we possibly fucking they should pay a bit more.
Well, I don't disagree that they should pay a bit more. Yeah. I do think that they can afford to pay a bit more, but I also think the only reason why they're here in the first place is because the tax is so low, and if we do hike it up,
I just think we were bad negotiators on the first day.
Yes, we are, but we are them playing Russian roulette.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no. As soon as you start fucking with the system, I mean, we're really lucky that we have the access.
What time is it, lads? Jeez.
Time for you to get a watch, man.
I have to put that clock somewhere where I can fucking see it instead of having to look around like an asshole.
Of all those fucking lights on that little thing, and not one of them tells the time.
Which one? Oh, it's this thing?
No, that thing.
Oh yeah, no, it doesn't. I could just check my phone. Yeah, I could. Yeah.
Could do.
Give it a good rattle there as well.
So back to the George thingamajig. I think we're all in agreement. But I think what we should do is exactly what we said we would do with the transgender issue as well, is to try and avoid having these topics without a representative of that community there, because it's unfair not just to them but to us as well.
Yeah.
Because if I have just a misunderstanding that doesn't come from a place of hatred, it's just a misunderstanding, they need to be able to correct me, and vice versa.
Exactly,
yeah.
And we need to be able to open up communication with everybody and anybody.
Have a question here from Cigar. He said, have you all watched Cobra Kai?
Cobra Kai,
yeah.
Oh, Cobra Kai. Sorry, I'm reading too fast.
Yes, Cobra Kai sucks.
And I've been drinking.
I'm also not into it.
Oh, they don't like it, Cigar.
Started watching it. I don't know. I just kind of was like, Karate Kid can just stay there.
Exactly. Karate Kid was a thing years ago and just stay where it was years ago. It's not a thing anymore. It's not a good show. Cobra Kai.
Fuck's sake, we're an echo chamber
you
again.
said that I just thought of Kung Fury.
Oh, that was brilliant. Oh, that was so funny.
Have a look at Kung Fury.
The best film ever.
It's like an 80s retro.
Is this the one where it's dubbed over with the voices?
It's
Yeah,
a little
kind
bit.
of.
It's kind of, but it's like just like an 80s retro kung fu type of.
That's brilliant. It was all crowdfunded.
Are you talking about Fist of Fury?
No,
No, Kung Fury.
Kung Fury.
Do yourself a favor, man. Like
Watch
fucking.
it. Oh, talk about laughing, man. Did you not hear us all laughing last Friday?
It's
We
pure
were
nonsense.
stitches,
Was
like-
struck by lightning and then bitten by a cobra. Just do yourself a favor. Just
watch
YouTube
it.
it, man.
It's on
brilliant.
YouTube. Like, it's a free full movie, and it was all crowdfunded based on like
Is
an
it
8-minute trailer.
Is it poor production?
No, it's very high
brilliant.
production.
The CGI on
It
that
is
also is
actually-
fucking amazing.
Yeah, no, it's really high production. It's just nonsense.
Can I read a comment from Shane Scarry?
Yeah,
this
go
comes
ahead.
into George now. When he was shot dead, the first thing his brother done was make a TikTok video. That's not even a joke. Like, what age are we living in? It's like you've been framed. Remember, you've been framed, man. Same.
Yeah.
Years ago.
But I mean, there's some. I'm pretty sure that the what do you call the EDR? Is that what they called? The Emergency Response
Unit.
ERU.
Oh, the ARU, the Arm Response Unit.
Yes. So these guys, I'm sure they
Or
have.
the ERU was the other one. Yeah, sorry.
I'm sure they have body cameras.
I don't know if they do here.
Police cam footage, yeah, definitely.
I'm going to be 100%.
For their own protection as well.
I'll say 99% sure. I'm going to bet that they had body cameras on it,
Okay.
and the evidence will come out.
Yeah.
And hopefully calmer heads will prevail. I wrote an article, not an article, but just a little post on it. I don't know whether you guys read it or not.
We did.
And I speak about how to help a drowning man. A man is drowning. Do you say to him, expend all your energy, slap around the water as much as you can? You know, just go nuts. No, you don't.
No, of course
You
not.
tell them to calm down.
That's it.
You assess the situation because calmer heads will always prevail.
Yeah.
And every
That
bad
situation just escalated, man.
every bad scenario that has ever transpired in this entire world came from one emotion, and that's anger.
Shane just said there, he was on the grind for them likes, but come on.
For the which?
For the likes. It's all about likes.
That's
but,
why
you
he
know,
made the TikTok.
Click
like-
clock, he had the TikTok.
Oh yeah, probably.
Sympathy, my brother, you know, look at me.
Yeah, but I have a big problem with social media is now.
It's taken over on a level, man.
Actually, earlier on when I was talking about the cat that they have and him scratching me up, the reason why I was talking about that, I never got to finish it, was because cats explore with their mouth. And children do the same type of thing. They explore by touching things and smelling
Putting
things.
stuff in their
and,
mouths,
and fucking eating lumps of coal and doing all sorts of stupid
Monkey
things.
see, monkey do, man.
But they learn through touch and every one of their senses and smells and all that type of stuff, which is perfectly normal human behavior. Where was I going with this fucking point?
Man, you started it.
Yeah, you
Bring us on
I
this
lost
trail.
it earlier. I lost it earlier, and then now it's gone again.
It was with the likes.
Oh
the TikTok.
shit! Oh yes, yes. Because now in their physical world, in a child's physical world, that lack of touch, that lack of smell, them lack of sensations are no longer there because everything is on the screen, and you can't smell the roses on the screen. You can't smell the home cooking on the screen. You know, and we're lacking all of these sensory inputs. We're getting fake sensory inputs.
Oh, completely.
And
And you
it's
get an
ruining the
addiction to the
kids.
dopamine hit from seeing reactions.
Yes.
From seeing the external world come into you, like.
Mm-hmm.
And it's completely fucking hijacking the responses, like.
And maybe that has a lot to do with the way the society is behaving now, and a result of what we're seeing now is that lack of human interaction with each other, because most of our interaction these days are fuck you N-word on YouTube, you know, or pour burning grass in your
hiding
garden,
behind
something.
the computer, like,
You know, it's not a real argument. It's just crap out in the ether. And that's what we're lacking these days. And I don't know whether technology is taking us in the wrong direction or not.
It's getting very close to social credits.
Yeah.
Like, I know they have that in other places, but
China?
like, but fucking, like, it's getting very like that in Ireland as well. Like, even if you look at like profile pictures on Facebook or whatever, you know, you have to pick the right ones so that you get so many likes in it.
Yeah.
That's why my biggest gripe with social media lately, like, what's with, say you have a friend, they update a profile picture, say they used to get, say, hundreds of likes, they could get 80, 60, 20, it doesn't matter. But I see people and they're literally getting one fucking like, and I'm thinking, where the fuck are all your friends on Facebook?
That's
We have
fucking
thousands
bleak,
of friends,
like.
we have hundreds of friends on Facebook, but yeah, you will get only one like if you say up to date. It's gone to shite, man. What happened to the older days? Say you get into a relationship and people become, oh, there you go now, lad, get in there, you know.
Or
It's
you
just
kept that one
completely-
secret, or.
Yeah, like, it's just totally changed, man. Like people just use it for scrolling and spying. I
Yeah, it's a
think.
lot to do with
There's
instant
fuck all
gratification.
interaction.
Yeah.
It's instant gratification that we are looking for. Even I know I've noticed myself doing it, and I try my best not to be a hypocrite. But when I do work, so let's say I'm doing a website, I will have 3-4 monitors on the go, and I'll be working on the website. I'll also be listening to a radio show and playing a movie at the same time.
Yeah.
Because I love multiple stimulation,
Multitasking,
and that's when I work at my best. Is when I have all this stimulation around me.
You have enough to keep you quiet.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, as a matter of fact, if you ever see me quiet, that's when I'm angry. Most people know that if Aiden's quiet, there's something seriously fucking wrong. It's when I'm screaming and shouting, everything's
Same,
fine.
Yeah.
Everything is fine.
It's under control.
So, did you want to do it? Did you know?
Go for it.
No, I'm going to go for you.
No,
first.
you're starting this time.
Okay, right. Give me a topic. Just give me a topic.
Aliens.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Did you know about aliens? Did you know that the Greys, do you know the Grey
The grey aliens, yeah.
They're the ones with the long heads
Yeah.
and the big eyes. Did you know that that would be an accurate representation of what an alien would look like given a different environment that they lived in? Hence, a much darker environment without sunlight all the time, bigger eyes, blah, 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 blah. So this is why that a humanoid looking creature
Did Richie tell you this?
could actually look like that. And scientists and physicists and biologists said, yeah, look, there could be planets out there with people who look exactly like that given their conditions.
Okay.
Did you know? Off you go. Did you know?
I'm going to continue on the aliens one.
Okay.
And, when aliens are all described as like silicon-based life forms, it's because on the periodic table, silicon is just below carbon and can still do the 4 bonds, so that you can still have a lot of the same structures just with silicon in place of carbon.
Oh.
And that's where the whole idea of a silicon-based life form came from, because if you...
Why are we called a carbon-based life form when, in actual fact, the vast majority of us isn't carbon? I know the carbon is the kind of the glue that holds us all together because it has that structure that can hold those other...
it can do the 4 bonds.
It can do the 4 bonds.
Yeah.
So is that why we're called a carbon-based, because it does the 4 bonds rather than other bonds?
Yeah, like all your amino acids would have a carbon core to them.
And you was following this?
No.
We're moving swiftly on. JJ, have you got it? Did you
I'm
know?
trying to Google, did you know?
I don't at all.
I've nothing.
Something
man.
about Africa.
Fuck. I got nothing.
Okay, did you know there's how many countries in South Africa?
No.
Countries.
Countries.
South Africa
is one country.
South Africa.
Just say
Sorry,
that again,
Africa.
and then just like fucking think
Africa.
about it.
How many countries in Africa?
Oh fuck, dude, I don't know. Like,
how the fuck do you not know?
I don't go to fucking Africa, South Africa.
Did you not go to school?
South Africa. Yeah, dude. What the fuck? Hard drive. Fucking like, I don't give a fuck. Like,
how do you not know how many countries?
I don't give a fuck. I just don't care. Probably, I don't know.
How many countries are in Europe?
38.
See, you're still guessing.
I am guessing.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah, but I'm not one body of land, for fuck's sake. That's what Africa's
It's a continent, for fuck's sake.
It's a body of land. It makes no difference. It's still a body of land. I don't live in. I'm sure if I lived in France, I would know my neighbouring countries.
Oui.
Oui, monsieur, you don't know.
Bonjour, cuisine de France.
I don't care.
So give us some sort of did you know from South Africa?
On to Megs, and then give me
no,
a second.
I ain't got nothing.
Did you know that Leonardo DiCaprio does a terrible South African accent?
I've been asked that numerous times. I have not watched. Was it Blood Diamond? I haven't watched it.
Great movie.
It is a brilliant movie.
Yeah, very good movie. So Meg, did you know?
No, I've nothing for you. I'll give you a joke though.
No,
Oh,
you can't
damn
replace it. It has to be a did you know? Did you know or nothing at all?
Nothing at all.
Look, you'd fit. This is a quick Google, but basically you'd fit 3 Europes into Africa. Just when you look at the size of the globe and all that,
what?
Yeah. Apparently, you'd fit Europe is about 3 times smaller than Africa. When we look at it and we talk about Africa, it is this monumental landmass,
that we can't even imagine.
No,
we
the
look at
maps
it
are all
on a map.
fucked up.
Yeah, we look at what's that version of the
The
map?
Mercure projection.
Yes, so that means basically that what you're seeing on the map isn't actually an accurate representation of the actual mass or shape.
Absolutely, yeah.
Did you know this?
Yeah.
Did you know?
Go on, yeah, I'm listening. Continue.
Okay. So come on, give us a did you know? Jesus Christ,
Did you
man.
know? Did you know? Man,
Heavy metal. Something.
Oh, Lamb. What was your man Alex from Lamb of God?
There is no Alex in Lamb of God. You have John Campbell, Mark Morton, the Adler brothers, Willie and Chris, and then...
Sorry, I'm thinking Children of Bodom.
Randy Blythe.
No, sorry, I'm thinking Children of Bodom.
Oh, Alexi Leo, man, I cried. I had a Children of Bodom
What
day
a
yesterday.
legend.
Like never before. Like, I listened to Bodom about, say, a year ago, I'd say. And then the news hit me yesterday, wake up, scrolling through my newsfeed, and then Connor Hedgeman posts, like, Alexi and I.
One of
I literally cried. I literally woke
possibly
up.
any metalhead that's really a metalhead, like we all like grew up on like Children of Bodom,
especially on Guitar Hero,
talk about childhood memories,
melodic death metal band, and Alexi Lyle is only 41, but he was suffering from
long-term health conditions and
and he.
If you've seen his touring like DVDs or videos, like man, they drink vodka like it was water.
Well, I'm going to give you a sad did you know as well, but I only found this information out about 4 days ago, but apparently this person died like 6 months ago and I didn't know.
All right.
One of the presenters of Mythbusters.
Who?
Which one?
The Chinese dude.
No.
Grant Imahara died.
No.
Yeah, he had a brain hemorrhage.
Shit.
Yeah, died in his
Super
sleep.
intelligent guy.
Super intelligent
Man,
guy.
he was a genius.
I was watching Mythbusters last night and I genuinely turned it off. I went, I can't watch it knowing that the poor bastard's dead.
Oh man.
You know,
At least he had a peaceful pardon.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to go in your sleep.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to go, like, I've heard horror stories about strokes and how people have went.
Oh, that's
like,
rough.
I genuinely know of a story. I can't tell the names just in case, because people, this is a person that we do know.
You can't say names on there, man. It's totally disrespectful.
She went to hospital with her mother because her mother was complaining about having headaches. And the mother was sitting in the bed and she said, Jesus, my head's getting worse, it's getting worse, it's getting worse. She said, next of all, blood just poof out the front of her face and just dropped dead.
Jesus Christ.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Brain hemorrhage, aneurysm.
Yeah, brain hemorrhage. What an awful way to go. Or what a way to even witness your parent go.
Yeah, that's very fucking graphic.
Like, that is unbelievable.
You think about it, but you're never mentally prepared for it, man.
No.
Of course not. I don't think anyone is.
No, never. No.
No, I mean, you recently went through the loss of your mother.
Yeah.
You know, and
sorry, Pierce.
Sorry to
No,
you,
you're grand. You're grand. Thanks very much.
You know, our condolences with that. And I just... I'm always astounded with the way people go. They'll come over to you and they'll go, "Well done, you know, good man yourself," and you know, you keep the chin up and blah blah blah. Like, you have a fucking choice.
That's it exactly.
You know, every last one of us. I was asked one day by Daniela Lingy over in the shop. She said, "Oh, did you hear such a person died?" And okay, yeah, fair enough. And she said, "You don't seem very sympathetic towards it." I said, "Well, it's a tragedy that life is lost, and I can register that it's a tragedy that life is lost. I'm not going to feel bad for this person or their family." And she said, "That's very selfish." She said, "Why would you do that?" I said, "It's very simple. I have my own grief that I will own someday. I will have a parent or a child or a friend or someone who is dearly loved to me who will die. And that's my grief. I don't own somebody else's grief."
No, I do. I'm an empath, so I like...
You can't. But you can't do it because you destroy your own life.
You do, but
you build
yourself up.
You own your own.
You do.
Your moment.
But you can care for another's situation.
Of course you can.
You can empathise with someone's situation, and like, you know,
when
you can be
someone opens up to you and
nice.
pours their heart out to you, it makes you feel this big, but that fucking much stronger at the same time. Like, what a moment to behold, man. Do you know?
I know, it's a rare moment to trust those things. Like,
oh man.
I have an unusual relationship with people.
Really?
Yeah.
I like that with
I was again last night lying wide awake, a million thoughts running through my head. And I was thinking about the podcast and the show and what we want to do and where we want to go with it and so on and so forth. And I was trying to think to myself, well, what is your USP? What's the unique selling point?
Yeah.
You know, what's not the show itself, but me.
I was thinking
about
your own personal brand.
Yeah, I was thinking about me and what is my unique selling point. You know, and where should I be? Should I be the right cantankerous fucking idiot who's always arguing on the right hand side, or should I be the centric, or should I be the person who supports the left?
Should you follow your gut on each individual topic and not subscribe to any blind ideology?
Exactly. So what I decided to do was, and you've probably seen it come true tonight, rather than argue with it, I'm trying to be more inquisitive.
Yeah.
So because we need to find out the whys before we can help.
Yeah.
So, and I think a show or my personality can be predicated on one of an inquisitive personality.
Yeah.
Just to understand people better, because I need to understand people better. I don't know why I have that drive in me. I just need to understand. I had a phone call.
You're a people person.
I got a phone call from my mother. Now, we're wrapping up now in 3 minutes, so this is it's time to end. So, I'm going to wrap up
Finish
on
up on this, yeah.
what I said I was going to say earlier about Mr. Nathan Lynham. Yes, I said his name live on air.
Ooh.
Yeah, so Richie's not going to be impressed with when he hears what I'm going to say.
Never mind him, he'll be grand.
So, I was thinking about Nathan last night, not in a weird sexual way.
Oh, man.
And I was thinking about what Nathan did. Nathan broke my trust. Everybody from day one was saying to me,
You do more than that.
he's a bad egg. He's, he's going to do this, that, and the other. He's a piece of shit. 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 And I'm sick of people now at this stage saying to me, I told you what he was, because I had my mother on the phone saying to me last night. I had Richie saying it to me. I had you saying it to me.
my mother.
Everybody saying to me, oh, look, we told you he was a piece of shit. And I keep saying the exact same thing over and over again. I knew he was a piece of shit before I became friends with him. And I took that risk because I was hoping that I could be the one influence in his life.
Be the
Yeah, you always used to try, man. I remember that.
Make him change his ways.
You did help him. You helped him get in touch with his daddy again.
I did.
All those
But
years.
here's the thing. Everybody calling him a piece of shit, that's only going to make our situation worse and his situation worse. While I think what he did, and Nathan, if you're listening, what you did was really fucking shitty, and I'm going to have a really hard time forgiving you for what you did. But you're not a piece of shit. You just done something shitty.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There is
absolutely.
Two completely different things.
Redemption's possible. Like.
Exactly. Redemption is possible, and not possible for my sake, but for his sake.
Absolutely. No,
He
you
needs
got
to
to be good for
redeem
yourself.
himself
Like.
for himself. So I've been listening to everybody saying he's a piece of shit, he's a piece of shit. I'm not going to carry on that narrative anymore, because it is exactly that narrative that pushes people like him further into the abyss.
Oh yeah. No, if you beat someone down, they're not gonna be able to get back up.
How many times have you heard me on the show saying people need so little encouragement?
Quite a few, actually.
I've said it so many times.
Yeah.
And yet I went back and became a hypocrite by saying he's a piece of shit, he's a piece of shit, he's a piece of shit. I became a hypocrite.
Nah, you got scorned by an action. Do you know what I mean? Like it wasn't out of nowhere.
But I had to think about it, and I had to let it settle in. And to be quite honest with you, I don't really give a crap how people feel about my decision on this, because I know in my heart and soul I'm doing the honourable thing. And that is, I will probably say hello and goodbye to him. I don't think I could ever trust him again. But what I'm saying is, Nathan, it's not like you're not redeemable. Every human being has the capacity to change, and this should be a life lesson for you. So start redeeming yourself, and you never know. It's not like you're coming back to the show, and that's not going to happen. You've broke the trust, but you can be a daddy, you can be a man, you can be somebody's hero.
You can fucking live a decent life.
You can be somebody rather than be the nothing that you are right now. And I don't want to hurt you, and I don't want to say that you're nothing. You are good inside. You just make terrible decisions. You're not a piece of shit. You just do shitty things. Please stop. That's all I have to say.
Fair fucking play, man.
So, and on that note, I would like to thank Mr. Pierce Fox, or Fierce Fox, for coming into the studio this evening.
Thanks for having me.
I would also like to thank Miss Megan Quinlan and JJ.
Woo!
I'm never going to attempt to say your name correctly. And we will be back on Thursday, and hopefully Richie will be here with us to with all his colourful epithets for Thursday night show.
Bye everybody, thanks for tuning in.
Until then, have a good night.